Alex Jones, good morning.
Sean, we've got the biggest news ever today.
Yes, we do. We're going to do some updates on Israel and Iran.
Special Saturday transmission.
Yes, sir. Islamic invasion. We got a Charlie Kirk update. And we're going to talk about deed thefts that appear to be on the rise.
And an update on the future of InfoWars. But the first big story is just unbelievable. And then when you've got the backstory and the other pieces to it, it is 100% clear what's going on. And everybody knows, who knows me, knows that I'm not somebody that obsesses over Israel. I'm not somebody that says Israel runs everything in the past. I get attacked by the Nazis and people because they've always said Israel has a plan for global domination, Zionist occupation forces are going to rule America. And then they accuse me of working for Israel, all this made up stuff. So I kind of got prejudiced towards that because they attack me so much and I have nothing to do with Israel, though I study all these different geopolitical things. And I've exposed Israel for the USS Liberty and the Levant affair and false flags and manipulating our Congress and AIPAC, but there's other big power lobbies, the Communist Chinese and, the big central banks closely associated with Israel and a lot of other lobbies and foreign governments, they're trying to manipulate us as well. You've got the EU, trying to censor Americans with all these lawsuits and things on Elon Musk. I cover all the major power blocks that are trying to take our freedoms and our sovereignty. And I look at the big tech companies with their AI data centers, power grabbing. So I try to be very fair and just look at all the groups, all the power groups, what they're up to, what they're doing. But we're in the fourth turning. There's a cycle every 87 years of each generation ending, but every four, historians have noted, and it's like clockwork, you have a fourth turning, a big mega turning. And so the old global order is falling apart. And Israel is uniquely positioned with about half the billionaires in the world being Jewish, and a lot of them being Zionists, that they have rich, powerful people all over the world, not just in the United States, not just in Israel, not just in Europe, but Australia, Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, everywhere. And so Israel's been positioning itself for a long time. Netanyahu's been in and out of power for 26 years. He's really the ringleader, kingpin of the really bad grip in Israel. And they've gotten where the ADL trains most of the police departments with all their anti-free speech stuff. They've got private intelligence files. Some people that work for the Southern Poverty Law Center that got caught running all the white supremacist groups to create the crisis, to offer the solution. And they have been doing a lot of, obviously, joint training with our military. The new iPhone's operating chip is Israeli made. They've been caught putting back doors in a lot of our telecommunications, even more so than China. This is a fact. And if you talk to former high-level CIA people like Kiriakou and others, they'll tell you that no foreign intelligence agency was anywhere as aggressive as Israel, and all the things they would do. And they famously used Monica Lewinsky, an operative, to blackmail Bill Clinton. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad operative, got a Mossad, honors and stuff. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was buried with a Mossad burial, and he was kind of the guy that handed over the keys to Epstein. So everybody pretty much knows about all that, okay? But two things have happened in the last week, and one of them just happened last night. Now, a week ago, it breaks that Section 224 of the Defense Authorization Act, the big $1 trillion bill that they're trying to pass right now for next year's military funding, had a provision 224 in it. And it's only 5 pages long. And it's clear as day, and top defense contractor analysts have looked at it, concur with my analysis. It literally says they create a special czar who is empowered by the president and with no oversight, who will then liaison with the Israeli military and intelligence from academia and DARPA and defense development to satellites to weapon telemetry to tracking to weapon development to bioweapons. I mean, it lists it all.
So this czar is on their side.
This czar has dictatorial power. And now a month ago, Netanyahu said, we're not going to get any U.S. taxpayer money soon. We won't need Congress anymore. We're going to do defense weapons deals with shared weapons platforms with the U.S. And they go, we've got a great anti-missile missile. It's just, we're just doing an anti-missile missile deal with them. No. That's just one small part of this. And people can go read Section 224. I can show some congressional clips where they talk about it. Then it turns out, because Netanyahu wrote a letter to the committee head thanking them for putting in the legislation that he wrote. But we'll get to that in a moment. First, that broke a week ago, okay? Mm-hmm. But scroll down so they can read the headline. This broke yesterday. Pentagon raised threat of Israeli spying on U.S. to highest level, sources say, worse than China, saying it's the Defense Intelligence Agency says that Israel is now the number one threat to our national security.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's because Israel is, again, famous for human intelligence and signals intelligence. They've been caught in the last 10 years putting up stingrays, scooping up all the cell phone data around the White House, planting devices in the White House. I mean, nobody does this, okay? But Israel. I mean, this is over the top. So,
But we're not allowed to spy on them.
no, in fact, there's a law.
We can spy on everybody else, but not them. But
Yes.
they can spy on us.
So you have this integration, and then you have the Israel First lobby. And by the way, they passed it out of committee. There was a amendment, and this happened Thursday, an amendment in the Armed Services Committee and the other committees to cut out Section 224 that just gives a blank check to Israel and the czar that gives them access to everything as spies and makes it legal. The committee chairman and others just go, none of that's there. This is just a missile deal. They're all liars. Move on. We're not passing the resolution, so the bill goes forward. So they didn't have the amendment pulling that out. And it's just a bald-faced lie. Anybody can go, just go into X or go into Google or just go to thomas.loc.gov, congressional website, type in NDAA 2027, Section 224. You're there. You read it. It says it integrates everything in live time. Everything. So when something's integrated live time, that means they're got the keys to the kingdom. Drones, AI. Oh, I forgot that. AI, all this. So now, then we learned 2 weeks ago, and this is being put out now because the Pentagon's worried, even though they've been pro-Israel overall. They put out this information that, oh, by the way, Israel's been risen to the number one security counter-espionage threat. And so we know the White House is full of a bunch of Israel firsters. And, my thinking was just pro-Israel and support Israel not being blown up or whatever. We knew that. I don't want to get Israel blown up. And so I was, Trump's got this big streak of Israel, but he still overall is America first. Now he makes statements like, I'm not worried about the average American's financial plight. I only care about Israel. I did this for Israel. I mean, these are quotes. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm not worried about your Medicare and Medicaid and the economy. All that matters is war. So he actually says, Israel's the number one priority. You pull the clips up just 2 weeks ago. He said, no, Israel's my main priority. I did this for Israel. Israel lied to him. Mossad told him, this is on record, that it would, that the mullahs would fall in 2 to 4 days, that they wouldn't be able to close the strait. Here we are 98 days later. Mm-hmm. It's a total disaster for the economy, inflation. The oil companies just told Trump, if you think the 47% increase in gas prices the last 90-something days is bad, it's about to go another 35, 40% in 2 weeks. And that bakes into inflation for everybody. That's a real tax. Okay, so the point is they got all the Israeli bots flooding real Alex Jones on X. You can go read these saying, quoting Bible verses out of stuff. You're going to be cursed. You hate Israel, blah, blah, blah. When the whole Old Testament is when Israel's good, it's blessed. When it's bad, God sends them into bondage. It's just all made up that, but it's this dispensationalism the last 200 years in America where people are taught, you don't worship Jesus, you worship King Herod. You worship whoever the leader of Israel is, even though he's super unpopular over there and has already been convicted and is using war to stay in power. It's just totally crazy. So it is legitimate fact. And I said on my show Thursday and Friday, people can pull the clips up, I said, Israel is now the number one national security threat. And then hours later, this comes out with the Pentagon saying that, okay? So this is a cry for help from the Pentagon. And I guarantee that folks that put this report out, it was released by the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Israel lobby is going to come for them.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have a kayak accident or swimming.
Has Trump put out any statements on this?
No, and I've been saying for the last week, Trump needs to come out against Section 224. And if he comes out and supports Section 224 to integrate every aspects of our satellites, our intel, our military, bioweapons, AI, it's all there in 5 pages.
Yeah.
I read it on here twice. Please go read it, folks. And then watch him on the news going, there's nothing there. It's just a missile deal. It's just a defense missile deal. Israel's literally saying, we don't need your money anymore because they're going to have joint access to all the patents and weapon development. We're talking about trillions, and now be co-owners of the military-industrial complex. That Eisenhower warned us about our own military-industrial complex getting out of control. Now we have this ultimate coup attempting to be happening right now. I mean, it is so off the charts, Sean. I can't even believe it's this arrogant. So this literally will be the Zionist-occupied government that I used to laugh at the Nazis about.
It's just official now.
I mean, I used to laugh at them. Oh, yeah, Israel's going to totally take over and make us, its first, state or whatever. Its second state in their new Greater Israel project. Now they've been bombing all over southern Lebanon, tens of thousands of homes. Now Israel says, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take all those Christians' houses and move Jews in. Just 6 months ago, the ADL would say you were anti-Semitic if you said that. I mean, and now they're putting out the brochures. The government is telling settlers, get ready and come claim your land.
Them to just taking over people's houses here in the United States. The deed theft.
Yeah, well, in Israel, that's what they do. But I mean, and it's happening everywhere. The point is that people are trying to be in denial about this, and I guess I was in denial too, because communist China is a big issue. The EU, the globalists, big tech, all that. But in this power vacuum, Israel is now the main group that wants to secure its future by controlling our foreign policy. To do that, it's got to control our domestic policy. And they primaried Massey and bragged about it. That was foreign money. And they ran off MTG, and they're saying, we run America now. Ben-Gvir really runs Israel. He's their national security head. He tells Netanyahu what to do, and when Netanyahu goes, it's going to be him.
How concerned are you with Ben-Gvir?
I mean, he literally says, we rule the earth. We're going to slaughter everybody. We're going to dominate. The Israeli ambassador to the United States, Mike Huckabee, now he's not the U.S. ambassador, he's the Israeli ambassador. He gets up there and says, Israel can take it all. It's in the Bible, the whole Middle East. He gets up in front of college students and says, you will rule the earth. You are the rulers of the earth. You will soon rule the earth. I mean, this is like megalomania, cartoon, supervillain stuff. And I mean, I, as an American citizen and as someone that is loyal to the Republic and ancestors with the back star of the country, both sides, I have a responsibility to come out and say what this is. And this is so over the top. It's so crazy. I mean, when did you ever think you'd see the Pentagon put out a report and at the highest level and say, no, Israel's now the number one threat to our sovereignty?
A big statement.
They said emergency. Their spies are everywhere. They're infiltrating everything. Look out. Right when they're trying to pass this bill to make it legal. That's the Pentagon going, whoa. Yeah, we've worked with you. We're not for the Muslims. We're not for the radical Islamists. We're not anti-Israel existing. And notice there's all these military bases flying Israeli flags. And then it comes out and they still keep flying them right at the same height as the American flag. That's like Muslims when they block highways and roads in New York to have call to prayer. It's territorial. It's pissing on us. It's planting the flag. It's marking territory. And so that's the first thing. And as soon as I got up at like 5 a.m. and just posted a link to this, and in came the bots instantly. You're a liar. This isn't real. What, now you believe NBC News? Well, I don't believe NBC News when they say I should turn my guns in, but I believe NBC News when they link to the Pentagon website and show the report. I mean, so yeah, this is real. And again, they try the same tactic. Oh, that's just a missile defense system deal. That's not an integration of the Israeli military and intelligence into ours. It says it. And now let's move to Benjamin Netanyahu's letter that came out 4 days ago. Now, it turns out it was out a week ago, but the members of Congress that got these, not just one, this is one particular committee member, he says, I was glad to receive your proposed congressional resolution, which is now in the bill, endorsing my plan, that's Benjamin Netanyahu, to shift the framework of U.S.-led defense cooperation from aid to partnership. And then he goes on to say, merge all the platforms together, AI, intelligence, it's all right there. But then you go read the legislation, it's more detailed. So, it's just a missile defense system. No, it's not. That's your God. You go to hell if you don't worship Benjamin Netanyahu's dingleberries. Your God says it's a merger. So, boom, checkmate. Your God, bow to him. It's like in Raiders of the Lost Ark when he holds up the idol and they all have to bow down. It's like, Netanyahu. They go, whoa. So I'm like, but Netanyahu said, So God has spoken. Nope, your Lord said so. Your God, your king, your master, who you swear allegiance to, okay? Because you don't want to go to hell. So my deal is Israel's bitten off way more than it can chew. He's a convicted criminal. He's even unpopular in Israel, but he uses parliamentary manipulation to stay in power. The problem is the people about to replace him are even worse. And Israel literally gets up now and says, Greater Israel, we're taking over. I'm locked to everyone. We're going to kill everyone. We're going to blow up the Christians. We're taking everything. And then meanwhile, I see the Israel First lobby going, oh, what are you for? The Muslims now? Or are you for Greta Thunberg, who's, anti-Israel? No, just because Just because Israel's doing bad stuff doesn't mean now we go, oh, but the Muslims are good. It's not an either or. It's and notice we've had 15 times the Muslims in the West we had before 9/11. I thought we were fighting them over there like you did, so they don't come over here. Well, they actually bring them over here. Mm-hmm. And then Israel founded Hamas and supported them and protected them. It turns out Lindsey Graham gave hundreds of millions of taxpayer money to Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Hezbollah, and Hamas. They are creating these groups so they have a pretext to then expand and attack.
Yeah.
So here's a congressional clip, and again, they had an amendment to pull out Section 224. It failed, but this is right before the vote. This is a Congressman Rahana talking about it, pointing out that Netanyahu actually wrote the legislation. Here it is.
People are tired of the arrogance and insolence of Prime Minister Netanyahu telling America what we should do. The entire country of Israel has a GDP that is less than a single town in my district. Yet somehow Netanyahu thinks he can tell the American people what we should do. The person who's most upset with him right now is President Donald Trump. And everyone in America, whether you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, says that we need to tell Netanyahu that America calls the shots, not the Prime Minister of any other country. They want less cooperation and blank checks to Israel, not more. Only the United States Congress would dream up at this moment, let's actually do more for Israel, not less. And that's what Section 2024 does. It's a pretty simple thing. Should we do more for Israel than we already do, or should we do less? If you think we should do more for Israel, you should be against my amendment. If you think we should do less for Israel at the time that he's arrogantly telling Donald Trump what to do, then you should be for my amendment. Now, let me just be clear. Mr. Netanyahu actually wrote to a member of Congress to put this Section 224 into the bill.
So, again, now it has passed out of committee. They were unable to strike it down. And I challenge every American, don't believe me, it's Section 224 of the Defense Authorization Act 2027. Go read it. Read Netanyahu's letter. That's what it does. And days after this comes out, the Defense Intelligence Agency goes, emergency, Israel's the number one threat. They've got spies infiltrating everywhere. I mean, literally, red alert, highest alert level. So the Pentagon says the number one highest level threat is Israeli intelligence infiltrating everything and spying electronically and with human spies, And they're openly now moving forward with the bill out of committee to hand everything over to them. And you've got Israel announcing Greater Israel, and they're going to invade everywhere and blowing up the Christians in Lebanon. You've got them involved in our domestic elections. You've got the ADL involved with the police departments. You got 38 states that pass laws that if you're a government contractor that builds highways or buildings or anything, or you sell coffee to the government, anything, trash bags, it's a felony if you put in a contract and end up getting it, if you've ever criticized Israel in any way, including Zionism, which means you don't believe that Israel has a right to do whatever it wants. So Israel's really making a move with its lobbies and its money to come in and censor, control, and just do terrible things. And Israel has the lowest approval rating in the world in Gallup polls. Mm-hmm. The whole world's turning against Israel, and I don't get some thrill out of that and say, great, I wish Israel would reform itself instead of getting worse and worse and worse. And then when I'm forced to oppose what they're doing because it's dangerous and totalitarian, I know they're going to come after me, as they already have with their lobbies. They've been instrumental in attacks on me already. And meanwhile, while the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center has been caught funding the white supremacists to make everything look cartoonish when you resist them, just like Israel created Hamas and funded them to make everything look cartoonish. And the Israelis declassified it even in the 90s. It's been declassified since then. They said, we created Hamas and funded them because we didn't want legitimate governments in Gaza and other areas that would stand up like Martin Luther King and not be violent and be reasonable. We put in people that are going to attack us who are crazy so we can keep blowing them up. Mm-hmm. And so that's what this is sick. And people one-dimensionally think, oh, I'm for Israel. I'm not with the Nazis. I'm not with the Muslims. The point is that this is a crisis creation operation that's going on. Look at how Israel and Turkey overthrew 2 years ago Assad, who was a dictator, but an angel compared to the global leader of Al-Qaeda they put in charge of there. Now he's purged the Christians and others. And we're told he's a good guy. And Israel gave air support to ISIS slash Al Qaeda, same group, different variant in Syria. This is all on record. And what's crazy is I used to talk about this when the West was funding these groups to attack Syria when it all started like 18 years ago. They called me conspiracy theorist, even though it was in the different white papers and defense papers and even came out in Congress. It was a fact. But now it's just all over the news. Yeah, okay, Israel and the U.S. and the British intelligence have been funding Al Qaeda since the 70s. Big deal. I mean, it's just like, okay. And then they attack us, and then we lose our freedoms. Mm-hmm. See how it works? So Israel is making a major move on America, and they think that if they can control Congress and control local state governments and control the police, which they do to a great extent, then we are talking about a Zionist-occupied government.
Yeah.
And that's literally, I used to sit there and watch, when I was like a teenager and watch HBO documentaries where we'd have the guys in their Nazi uniforms going, and they're going to have a Zionist-occupied government and rule the police and have checkpoints and you're going to control everything you do and we'll be part of the greater Israel. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And they go, oh, you work for them, boy. You're one of them. And I'm just like, now I'm like, literally, it's all coming true. And I'm just like, what the hell what's your take as a veteran American to see this?
Well, for me, I would be super confused right now because if the Pentagon's saying one thing, but then the administration is completely in bed with Israel, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do, honestly. I'd be questioning every order that was given to me at this point. You've probably seen this already.
Orders for all the GHF operations. I was told very explicitly, directly to my face, that our client is the IDF.
Your client is the IDF.
Our client is the IDF. And this came out in a discussion once where I was in the control room. I was on control room duty that day. We had shifted responsibilities on a rotation base. So I was in there that day with the radio observing site number 2 distribution. A Palestinian man had picked up some children to let them step on his shoulders to get onto a berm because they were being crushed in the crowd. Site 2 is very small, smallest of all 4 sites. And these children are being crushed and picked them up there and put them up on the berm. And the Israeli Defense Forces liaison officer in the main control center with us comes up to the screen that I'm watching and he says, tell your men to get them down. I was like, we got this under control. I was like, I know they know what they're doing. No, they're children. Let's calm down. Mm-hmm. Get them down now or I will. Well, there's no IDF on the site. So I didn't take it as much more than just being, bombastic and like, okay, like, we got this. He leaves and goes to his desk in the operations center and he gets on the radio and he speaks something on the radio. It was in Hebrew. I don't speak Hebrew. One of the contractors that was there was American that did speak Hebrew, and he notifies me. He said, hey, he just told the snipers at the IDF position, because the site number 2 is co-located with an Israeli base. Mm-hmm. He said, he just told the snipers to take these kids out. I was like, on the radio? He's like, yeah. This lieutenant colonel then comes back up and he says, get them down. And I look at him and I say, did you just call on the radio and tell your men to shoot them? He said, I'm going to take care of this if you don't. And I said, you are not going to shoot. You are not going to shoot children. You're also not going to shoot because if your men miss, you're going to hit others. You're not going to shoot. Thank God we didn't come to the conclusion of figuring out whether he would or not, because the children jumped down and ran off of the site. They didn't want to be there. They were unarmed. They didn't have shoes. One wasn't even wearing a shirt. They were starving. The chief operations officer for Safe Reach Solutions, our higher headquarters, so to speak, in the contract, beckoned me outside with him, and he looked at me in the face and he said, never say no to the client. And I asked him, I was like, I didn't know the client was in there. Who's here? Did Johnny Moore come to visit? Right. And he said, no, the IDF. I was like, the IDF are our client? He said, yes, we work for them.
That's a former U.S. soldier, Anthony Aguilar, speaking to Senator Chris Van Hollen.
Well, I can tell you that I know a couple guys, separately Army guys, and they don't even know each other. They separately contacted me, and I know these guys well. These guys have always been pro-Israel, and they were in Afghanistan, Iraq, all over the world, you name it. And they contacted me, and they said, our view is totally different, because they were over there overseeing those aid missions in Gaza, and they said they just basically just shoot little kids for fun, run them with bulldozers, stuff far worse than that. Because that video is a couple years old.
Is it?
Or a year and a half old or so, if I remember correctly. The point is, there's videos where you have thousands of people begging for food, and you just see them start shooting them, and they're just falling over dead. And I mean, my point is, Israel goes, well, October 7th, they did some of that to us. Okay, well, you've done it on a scale 50 times what they did to you. And those are little kids. They didn't do that. And also, Netanyahu stood down for 7.5 hours, and so did the IDF on October 7th, when normally they're there in 2 minutes. Most armed camp in the world. 7.5 hours, the main military stood down. They stood down so they could have that attack happen. Didn't mean they ran Hamas. They funded them, wound them up, and they did it. And Israel admits they did that so they'd have an excuse to blow up the Muslims.
Yeah.
So, and then when they have the refugees, these people, they're going to ship them here all pissed off. So in general, Islam is a cancer. It's expanding. It's evil. It's out of control. That's what the Quran is a battle plan. Well, Israel has a battle plan to take over. I'm against that. The Muslims have a battle plan to take over. I'm against that. The Chi-Coms have a battle plan. I'm against it. The globalists, big tech do. I'm against all these predatory groups doing this. And we have to just go down the line and oppose each one of them. But right now, the thing coming for all of our freedoms, just openly, and you're right, it's very confusing until you dig deeper. Trump is nice to Israel. He himself has a lot of Jewish friends. He understands it's some diverse ideas and groups. He wants peace over there. The Abraham Accords, he wants them expanded. And then he has to work with Netanyahu. He doesn't really like Netanyahu. I've known that from people for a long time. Netanyahu was the first foreign leader to call and congratulate Joe Biden when he stole the election in 2020. And so, but Trump puts on this act. And then it was Trump, as I said, it came out later, 2 weeks ago, that leaked that, he told Netanyahu, you're effing crazy. You blow up whole buildings to get one bad guy and kill a bunch of kids. You'd be in prison if it wasn't for me. Everybody hates Israel now because of you. That was a transcript. Trump did say all that. Netanyahu admits it, and Trump admits it now. That is Trump trying to off-ramp and distance himself because he really thought at certain levels, the Israelis were spying on him, but he really thought he could control it. That's not the case. And now Trump knows that Israel's been trying to sabotage his other operations. He knows Israel is well known to be the number one, even above China, thief forever of our technology. And so it's a mixed bag, but he's starting to try to decouple from Netanyahu because he knows the war has destroyed his approval rating in the economy ahead of the midterms just 5 months away. But paradoxically, he has put a lot of his financial eggs in the Israeli basket. So members of Congress, you see all their insider trading. Well, Israel has, if they have a deal with you, you can go there and run and have no extradition. So they're basically, like the corrupt Congress and others, has laundered of the hundreds of billions of dollars, more than half of it back to themselves bipartisanly out of Ukraine. And in the congressional hearings, they're like, by the way, we're not just going to give Israel access to all our weapons and secrets and corporately merge with them. We're going to do this with Ukraine, too. We're writing that up. So it's basically creating these black holes where they can just spend money and not have it be able to be traced. Mm-hmm. And it's just a feeding frenzy that's going on.
Do you see this as Trump just trying to get a piece of this feeding frenzy? The Democrats did it with Ukraine for 4 years, and now Trump's trying to do this with Israel?
Yes. Trump tried to come in and save the country. Very little insider trading, very little corruption. He lost most of his wealth when he was in there, and then the 4 years when he wasn't. And then the Israel constellation lobby corporate system, half billionaires in the world are Jewish. And suddenly the billionaires that hadn't been on the side, suddenly the majority of Jewish billionaires came and said, look, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the network, the private intelligence network. They call themselves Jewry. We have Jewry, and we're leaving the Democrats because they're so pro-Islam now. And a lot of that's been the left and leftist Jews even creating that ideology. So it's like they're biting themselves in the ass. And they said, we will get behind you. We will protect you. And then when you're out of office, we will protect you and have a whole dynasty with your family. And all these construction deals and things in the Middle East, and Israel heavily investing in all the Trump stuff along with other Gulf countries. And so, Trump absolutely started down the road of serious standard operating procedure corruption. But he never was really heavily involved in that. I studied it. The Democrats passed a law. People were upset about insider trading like 20 years ago. So they passed a law that they can insider trade. And then you got Pelosi that her stock picks are more than double better any other person or company. Well, now Trump has stock picks that are even better with his double blind, trust or whatever. I don't know anything about that. And so all the cabinet that have sons and daughters, they've put them in charge of these huge baskets of money, and we're talking billions per kid. Is just flooding in, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, he's set up the Trumps for a long time, that's for sure.
And notice what he said a month ago. He said, "Don't worry, my entire administration, from the janitor to the chef to the cabinet members, will be given a blanket pardon when I leave." Now, that was never done until Biden did it, and a lot of people think it's not constitutional. But specifically, a blanket get out of jail free card. Hypothetically, Biden administration officials could just kidnap children and barbecue them on the street corner and not get in trouble. Well, Trump says, you know what, we're going to do that too. So the U.S. government, we thought Trump would be a reform, and he was a speed bump to it in the first administration. A lot got done. We got a little bit better Supreme Court justices, things like that. The border isn't completely open. But now he is going sideways faster than hell.
This is a different Trump.
It's bad. It's bad. And then the Democrats will take clips of this out and go, oh, look, Jones admits he was wrong the whole time about Trump. No, I didn't say that. He's gone sideways now. And we were right. No, you guys are infinitely just as bad or more. Okay, so just get off your high horses.
Yep. Have you seen this new seventh branch of the armed forces called Cyber Force that they're making? It's, let me see here. This is Congress Senator Gildebrand, 2027 MPAA, 20,000 active duty, 5,000 National Guard, 6,000 civilians, no enlisted, only officers and warrant officers, operational in 12 to 18 months, will operate under both state and federal authority. Imagine that last line, state and federal authority. Imagine what they could do with that.
It's a fusion center with the feds, and then Israel's in that under the new law if it passes. So Israel's synced, then the local government's synced, and then now everything the police are getting, everything the dash cams are getting, everything the emails the cops are writing, all that stuff's being fed back to Israel and everybody else.
Alien disclosure. Focus on that, guys. Focus on that.
And then notice it's just more rumors, more recycling crap on the aliens.
Yeah. Let's get into Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Dore here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this clip, and I just want to say it's 9 minutes long. We don't have to play the whole thing, but at least half of it. He nails it, and it's all accurate what he says. And it's just important to remember this and just understand that why did Netanyahu come out like 2 days after and say, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk? Because really, most folks weren't even thinking that or saying that then. I said it's too soon. Now we know there's a cover-up of what really happened. We know there's a cover-up of the crime scene. They came in and told the contractors, dig out the dirt several feet or the concrete, fill it in 2 days. It's got to be covered up. Why would you tear out all the concrete? Because the best thinking is that was an exploding mic on his neck, and that it somehow malfunctioned. It was supposed to fire in, but instead if you look, it looks like it blasts down and up and malfunctions. And so whatever it was, why would the FBI and the order contractors in as fast as possible? They said within 3 days, this has to be dug out. That went out over a foot, tore out concrete, reported. And then I broke that Kash Patel 6 days after, in a cabinet meeting, this was later confirmed, said no foreign involvement will be looked at when Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard said they found evidence of a foreign government. Wonder who that could be. So I said up front, hey, let's not say it's Israel day one, because we need to go through this and look at this. But now that's where we are. And I've had reporters that talk to Tyler Robinson's family. They're scared. So only 2 of them have been gone on tape. But they said 2% of what you see in the news is true. Tyler didn't say he did it. It's all a big cover up, and the family fears for their lives. And this is reporters talking to him in the hallways. And I've talked to the reporters, and I'll just leave it at that, because they don't want it all fully released, which I think is not smart. I think because they're scared, they should actually release it. But I've not just aired some of the audio that you just heard me talk about, where they said we think there's a cover up, but specifically the whole thing's a lie.
Yeah.
So this is insane, and they won't even give the defense anything about the rifle. They won't. Well, I mean, Jimmy Dore does the best job breaking it down. But the point is, now that you have Israel coming in and taking over the police, now that you have the feds fusing with everything, and the legislation for Israel to be fused into that, and now you have the Israel lobby saying we're going to destroy anybody that criticizes anything we do. Greater Israel, we want you to, we want a national draft, Israel's saying, and our other, quote, Christian leaders and the guy that they just primaried Massey with says, no, we need a draft right now to go to full war in the Middle East for Israel. Trump says, I'm doing this for Israel. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to be Israel's slave. I cannot believe this is like a nightmare of every trope, of every stereotype, of every crazy thing the Aryan nations was saying 30 years ago. I mean, it's just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And I'm not with the Muslims. I'm not with the Nazis. I'm not with the Chicoms. I'm an American patriot that believes in due process, capitalism, Christianity, family values. Don't force my values on you. Don't force them on me. I wasn't brought up to have a hard on, against Israel and Jews. But now I just have to get over any type of, niceness and just say, no, Israel, you're out of control. You're on a power trip full of chutzpah. Your leaders are out of control. You are a global pariah, and they're just going to keep doubling down and say, we have America, the superpower, we have all the nukes, and we're setting up a police state in America, and their sons and daughters belong to us, and we're going to war. Yeah. I mean, that's what Israel says they're doing. They say, we run America, and we're going to war, and we're going for broke. And get your kids suited up and ready to fight for us. So I'm like, no, sir.
Yeah.
So Israel is now, as I said Thursday and Friday, the number one threat to world peace and national security of this country, and the Pentagon just came out yesterday and agreed with me. Pretty big deal.
Let's watch this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. So important, folks. And to share this report and to take clips of it and share it. And because Sean's kicking ass and doing a great job. This is the best quick breakdown. He's almost done. But remember with the pipe bomber, the police are just walking around the park and they go right to where the bombs are and know right where it is. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. Total setup. And we knew that at the time. Now we know who did it, all of it, and they're covering it up. It's just, we just have lawless, insane criminals because they can just steal everything. And why shouldn't they just keep stealing? But then none of it makes sense. And again, just going back to this, I had a reporter on, well, I know well, and she's a national talk show. But the point is, this is like 2 months ago. And the trial Robinson's having some of the pretrial stuff. And she's there every day up in Utah. She lives there, talking to the family. Like 8 or 9, 10 of them. And they're all telling her this stuff. And I talked to other reporters that talked to them as well. And so they're all just there openly talking to reporters saying, oh, yeah, it's all set up. The government did it, blah, blah, blah. He's innocent. He knows he's innocent. Now, none of this is true. We didn't say he did it. We didn't say he, but we're all scared for our lives. And then this particular reporter released one of the files that somebody else had recorded. And, there they are saying a lot of this. But just imagine, Sean, none of that, the stuff I've heard is even worse. None of that ever hit the news. I mean, my show got millions of views, but like you'd think that'd be a bigger deal that the family says it's all a lie.
Yeah.
But instead, the family all says that Tyler Robinson did it. And people say I've changed my tune on that. You had 10 different tranny groups in the days before Kirk was killed, the 3 days before, 6 of them the day before saying he'll be dead tomorrow. Okay, and you have this leftist guy that popped up and said, I'm the shooter, so quote, the shooter can get away. And so I was imagining you have a lot of tranny shooters that could have been plausible, or it could just be a cutout or a setup, like we saw with the Crooks. So I just wanted time to investigate it. And then I, of course, exposed that Patel ordered a cover-up of foreign involvement or local involvement. Mm-hmm. But now the facts are in. And now we know they covered up the crime scene and all that. So now I want to ask you when this is over in a minute, what you think should be done, because this is a big deal. Because if they'll kill Charlie Kirk, and we have the head of the ADL a few months ago, Jonathan Greenblatt, saying the same energy we use with exploding pagers against Hamas in Lebanon and in Gaza, in the West Bank, we do use it against Americans that say that Israel drug us into this war. They set these litmus tests, like, don't say we drug you in, even though Israel admits they did. And you're just like, and then the Israel lobby's like lobbying and kicking anybody out of Congress that isn't for the war. And then the ADL head says, we're not censoring you, and we didn't drag you into war, and if you don't like it, we'll use the same energy we use with exploding pagers. Now, Sean, is that a threat or a threat?
That's a fucking threat. That's a fucking threat. That's a straight up threat. That's a warning to everybody. Watch your mouth, or we'll fucking blow you up.
Well, I mean, I want to say this. It's been a big part of that lobby suing me and attacking me and doing all this, but I want to say this. I'm not suicidal. I love life. If I die, drug overdose, I don't use drugs, okay? I drink some and drink coffee and stuff. That's some tobacco. That's it. So if they say I drive a drug overdose, not true. Suicide, not true. Any of that. And I'm really seriously, I mean, if I have to look at the different groups out there that want to kill me, on the street, it's the trans people that have them threaten me on the street when they just see me. They are very violent. That's why I was kind of prejudiced towards thinking maybe the story was true at first. At least we should look at it. So if I'm in public, it'll be a trans person kills me. Used to have white supremacists threaten me all the time. They still do some because they work for the Southern Poverty Law Center, most of them. But if I get killed, I have to say, if I get murdered or if they say I committed suicide, Israel is the main suspect. And if they keep getting away with killing our journalists and our citizens, then we're their slaves. And but I guess the leadership of Israel says we're slaves. So I guess that's just how they see it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Hold up. Like, I know when we first talked about this originally, you were leaning more towards, let's let this play out with the investigation, stuff like that, as far as Charlie Kirk goes. Seems like you've shifted. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, let me be accurate there. And I can see how that's what it looks like, but this is how my brain works if you watch my show or listen to it. I will come on and war game something when it's first happening and say, in my mind, it could be these 3 or 4 or 5, whatever the scenarios are. Then we start putting things kind of like in boxes of how much weight that has, okay? And so I will sit there and war game through, yes, it could be Israel. Yeah, it could be the Republicans because they want to take over TPUSA because it's the whole future at that time. It could be the Democrats because you're getting so many people registered to vote. Trans people are really violent and all these other events are happening and they said they were going to kill him. It could be them. But then when you got the weird ChatGPT confession letter and the story didn't add up and it's 30-odd seconds but doesn't go through his throat, I came out all the time saying, I don't believe this. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't ready to say, because it's hard for me to believe because I've known some of those guys, not like good friends, but I mean, they're just kind of goofy Christian guys. I don't mean that in a mean thing. I find it hard to believe that the leadership of TPUSA was like in on killing him or at a secret military base with 12 colonels the day before planning the killing. That's not how that works.
Right.
And so I simply looked at stories coming out saying, I don't think this is credible over here because the Mitch Snow guy was a known convicted super con man, like from Catch Me If You Can or something. I mean, it's just ridiculous. He's like, my wife came and stole the keys and locked me in the garage as a prisoner and beat me with hammers. And then there's video of him doing it to her. I'm just like, this guy's not credible. They go, it doesn't matter if he's a liar. He was at Huachuca. And so I went, look, there's all this real proof. I've got Kash Patel in the cabinet meeting telling Tulsi Gabbard and others, you are not going to look into foreign involvement. And months later, they came out and it was declassified. I broke that. No one cared about super white-hot smoking gun. We have a cover-up, okay? No one cared about that. It was just like, here's some crazy dude saying all this made up crap. And then all her surrogates attacked me and I got pissed.
Yeah.
Oh God, you work for Israel or you're on the payroll. And I'm just like, no, I mean, I think Israel might've been involved. Certainly government looks like it's a cover up.
Yeah.
I said, let's be credible here.
What are your thoughts now though?
Oh, I mean, now, because the contractor just came out 2 weeks ago and said, no, they said, get rid of it now. Dig in feet, remove all the concrete, pour in new concrete immediately as fast as you can. What the hell?
That means there's evidence that was left that they didn't recover.
And remember, you and I war gamed all this and said it did look like an exploding microphone there that fires both ways and all that, that malfunctioned, but we weren't sure. And I said all that back at the time. So when I'm doing an investigation, I'm getting more pieces, watching things they develop. He comes in wearing the trans flag, looks like he's under MK Ultra, and I went, well, maybe they just dressed him up in that, and he does look like he's been electroshocked or something. Classic vegetable. They did that to McVeigh. They did it to Sirhan in other setups. So now, 100%, Charlie was murdered by a sophisticated group. Tyler Robinson is 100% a patsy. Mm-hmm. The whole family says that. Says nothing they say is ever bad. None of it's true. They're all scared for their lives. And every other reporter's even scared to touch this. And I told them, I said, listen, you guys think all this, you better say it. I'm not going to kill your whole family. But I did say, all 10 of you shouldn't get on the same airplane. I mean, because what's going to happen, and already they're totally controlling the trial. They're not giving the defense anything they're supposed to get. Oh, you can't see the gun. You can't see ballistics. You can't see any of this. So, no, 100%. And I remember at first it's, Charlie criticized Israel. Charlie said the lobby was coming after him. Charlie said he was worried for his life. And I was like, well, let's check it. Let's see if that's accurate. And they released all the text messages. And they said, Candace is lying. That's not real. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Charlie called me and said some of this stuff. Well, wait a minute. Harrison Smith put out a tweet a month before he got killed saying Charlie's worried that he's going to get killed by Israel. And then they're like, give us your source. How did Harrison know that? There's a reason we have sources. Okay? But just understand, he was at a big Ron Paul event for like his 90th birthday or whatever. And let's just say this. I mean, you see the people that come on Harrison shows and come on and on the broadcast. We have a lot of sources. But as soon as Kirk got killed, we were called by Joe Kent and others asking what we thought and what we knew. So that's the level of stuff we're involved in. And it wasn't Joe Kent that told Harrison or any of my other crew about that meeting that was classified. I got that from another person in the meeting that was so freaked out by it about don't look at foreign involvement, don't look at a foreign country, and don't look at, because I was also like accomplices. You got 10 trannies in the town saying he'll be dead tomorrow, or 6 of them the day before and 4 the day before that. And then saying, see, we told you he'd be dead. So they had some group talking about it and Tyler running his mouth or somehow to have that fallback story. But so I'm like, hey, haul them in, prosecute them as accessories, and then we'll find out about their handlers who are going to end up being government and psychiatrists and people. And then he was also in a DARPA CIA feeder program. Mm-hmm. And with brain interface, so was the Batman shooter in Aurora. And it goes on and on where these people get recruited into CIA college programs.
Yeah. Well, this is
Don't forget the Unabomber. The Unabomber, declassified, was in the CIA. Yeah. MK Ultra. I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
And guess what? His doctor was the deputy head of MK Ultra for over 45 years. Jolly and West worked under Dr. Ewing Cameron. This is all declassified.
Yeah.
Guess who? Jack Ruby, the Israeli operative and mobster who killed Lee Harvey Oswald, the patsy. Guess who his psychiatrist was that visited him daily and then he died like of a 1-week cancer?
Who?
Jolly and West.
No shit. Guess
who Sirhan's government-appointed doctor was? Shot RFK Jr.
Who?
Jolly and West. Guess who McVeigh's doctor the entire time from when he was arrested, he was there 2 days later, until he was executed at Terre Haute in Indiana. Guess who his doctor was?
Let me guess.
Jolly and West. You want to keep going?
Go
the shooters of Reagan, Jolly and West.
Jolly and West.
Jolly and West. Jolly and West. Jolly and West. Jolly and West. Oh, who helps the Unabomber out when he's in the Supermax? Jolly and West. Yeah. So now you're starting to get it?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like, now with the chips and stuff, they do have total mind control where you can be like a robot. You know, they had 30 years ago a rat with a chip in it where they can robo-rat into rubble or whatever. But Sean, all they do is strap your ass down and give you 20 doses of LSD and electroshock your cerebral cortex and run white-hot electricity over it, and you don't remember anything going back 5 years.
Yeah.
They just shock, and you look at Robinson, he walks in, he's like...
Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I noticed. Looked like he was sedated.
Well, they may not just kill me or other patriots. They could go do some murder or bombing, and then, guys, if you see me rolled out 3 months later in court, and I'm like, ooh, they got me, folks. Electrical lobotomy. That's electroshock. So this is what I look like in the real world. And I'm telling you, they hate me so much. I've been wargaming their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to prophesy this or anything, but I'm telling you, man.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
I'm telling you, man. But just anybody you see, they roll out as a patsy, like Sirhan, and they're just like, and this is the guy that carried out this incredible operation.
This is that video of Eric Kirk.
Most alarming things about Charlie's murder was the way that some people in this country reacted to it.
Yeah.
And not just online. This was an idea that you encountered a lot. And the idea was this. They kind of justified it. They basically said that because Charlie said or believed things that they believed were controversial or even hateful, that he somehow had it coming. What do you say to people who justified his death?
You're sick. He's a human being. You think he deserved that? Tell that to my 3-year-old daughter.
That sounded so scripted.
Excuse me. You want to watch in high res the video of my husband being murdered and laugh and say he deserves it? There's something very sick in your soul, and I pray that God saves you, I pray, because that is what is so wrong. The internet in this world has dehumanized us.
Erica, one of the most
Well, stop. I'm glad you played that.
Yeah.
You know, I've held my tongue on Erica Kirk. We'll go to a minute. This is important.
You mean the host of the UFC White House card? Is that what you're talking about? That Erica Kirk?
Well, once you play your other clip, I'll make my comment on Erica Kirk. Sean's over here obsessed with finding his other clip. Anyways, but one problem with this is they've also flooded the zone with like people blacked out faces with their voices changed. Like, I was there when they planned the killing, and I can tell you that she was this. There's been so much just flat out disinfo put out on Erica Kirk,
Yeah.
which turns out to not be real. I'm forced to say that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. But the way she responds and the way she does it, I've told TPUSA like 2 weeks into this, I said, guys, you got to get her off the air. I mean, she just is going to destroy the organization. If you call it Q scores, that's likability or believability. She has, and I'm not trying to be mean to Erica.
This pod will clean your retainer at the top.
Oh, this will clean my retainer. Stop playing with that like a little cat with a laser pointer for a minute. I'm telling you, though, like, the more she talks, the worse it gets. And she comes off in those videos, I mean, looking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And looking absolutely plastic and looking fake as hell. And so I got to tell you, Erica Kirk has probably knocked 6-7 points off Trump's approval rating herself. And she has blown giant holes in TPUSA.
Well, they keep throwing her out there, though.
That's because none of them will, it's all the Emperor's New Clothes. You know the parable of the Emperor's New Clothes?
No.
Well, there's this kingdom, and it's real fast. And these incredible suit makers come to town that make the most incredible clothing for royalty, and it's just everybody's got to have it. But only if you're royal can you even see the clothing. But if you're profane and an evil person, you can't even see it. And so, and so they weave this imaginal stuff, but no one can see it. But no one wants to admit that they can't see it because that means they're profane and evil. And so the emperor, basically is having a big parade, and he's marching in his underwear, basically naked at the head of it. And a 3-year-old steps forward and says, "Look, the emperor's naked." And then everybody goes and starts laughing and admits it was all a giant mind control deal. So that's Stockholm syndrome or mass Stockholm syndrome, or you could call it, giant group psychosis. And they just can't admit to themselves that the more she talks, the more they think that she's involved. And she's a widow. I'm not the type of guy that gangs up on people. I liked TPUSA in the past. I was invited to their things. Charlie called me the most censored man in the world, so he was a great guy. But they are going in a direction different from Charlie. And so it's so horrific to actually watch and see what they're up to and the way they come out and try to challenge their detractors with empty stuff. And I've told them, I've said, guys, if I was you, I'd just shut up and do your voter outreach and get back to issues. But instead, they can't help it. They got to make it all about being pro-Israel. What does TPUSA have to do about Israel? It's about getting young people to be conservative, nationalist, and voting. Yep. It's just, but oh no, Israel's under attack, so let's make it all about Israel. It's called a Streisand effect. And I'm not even trying to give them advice because, they've totally gone sideways. I'm wondering why they're so stupid. I'm wondering why they didn't listen to me. I mean, I talked to the head people. I'm talked to her. I'm people that know her well. That's another thing. I really respect Tucker. And he says Erica Kirk's a great person. And, now it's come out that it's in the Wall Street Journal today that Israel does not want J.D. Vance because he's really anti-war behind the scenes. So maybe she was a theater kid. They are all about personas and all about going off script just because that makes them feel good. And maybe she's just a terrible actress, so she should stop doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen such bad acting. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I'm sorry, lady, but God almighty. I mean, just go hire a Hollywood firm that does Q scores. If you don't know what that is, you think you're a media person, you should know. You have the worst Q scores I've ever seen. And also, the decisions you make, I mean, look, the hot leather outfits, a couple days after he's dead, shaking your ass on, you look hot, baby. I'm not going to tell you that. But you're not up there at a Vegas show. okay? And you're not about to ride a pole here. So, I mean, it's not good. I mean, people should have seen big black circles over on the side, and it was real. TPUSA would have been 10 times bigger. But it's just not normal. And I understand if you're a theater kid, they get professional, they compartmentalize in and do that. But, and I understand, I was never a theater kid, didn't like theater, but I just know that most of the left of the theater kids, I'm a mission-oriented guy, so when I'm under a lot of stress, that's when I tend to do the best and get on message. People could say that's fake, but it's not, because I have the highest Q scores you can get, according to separate companies that did it. I never even asked for it. When Fox News tried to hire me several times, Roger Ailes wanted me to do a weekend show, and they said, we're going to position you. They thought Limbaugh was going to, he was in Hawaii and had like a heart attack nobody knew about, and they thought he was going to die then, like 10 years, 15 years before he did die, and they wanted to position me for that. They knew we were on Limbaugh, but I'm going to have managers tell me what to do, and it's going to be great, and I can move to Florida or New York. And they said, no. They said, you've got the highest Q scores we can get, and with a little bit of training, all the rest of the stuff, you're going to be number one. And of course, years later, I was number one anyways without that. But Q scores isn't just like that you look good, it's that you're believable, and they do focus groups, and people say that person's telling me the truth, or that person believes what they're saying. You know, genuineness. And lady, you have zero. You have like a negative Q score. Okay, and I think the pressure of this got to her, because I went back and saw older interviews of her and stuff. It wasn't that bad. She was like a likable, nice, Yeah,
she wasn't lying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what you're lying about, lady, but I mean, do me a favor again. Why don't you stick with getting people registered to vote and conservative values? Because you trying to fight off this stuff and getting all mad and going, and I tell you, you people think you're going to defeat me. You're not. Never. You are literally poking the bear. Yeah. And how's it working out for you? But listen, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You find your other clip?
What do you, no, I'm not. I gave it up.
I want to find it.
What do you think?
No, let's take a break. Find it. We've got to have this, Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson and the Sean Johnson Experience. It's the Sean Johnson Show. Hey, you guys better subscribe, and you better share this video. Rawr. Or you work for Mossad.
All right, we'll be right back. Our days are packed. Podcasts, travel, training, and Jen's always in the shop, grinding and working around metal. We're constantly exposed to stuff in the air, in what we touch, just day-to-day life. And even if you're a little off, you feel it. So we keep things simple. Train hard, eat clean, stay consistent. And we use Masterpiece Zeolite as part of that routine. Zeolite is known for binding to certain unwanted compounds, helping the body process and clear things out more efficiently. For us, it's about staying clear-headed, keeping our energy up, and not letting that daily exposure slow us down. Nothing overcomplicated, just something that helps us stay on point no matter how hard we're pushing. If you want to check it out, go to masterpiece.health and use code Sean. And we're back. Welcome back, sir. Cheers.
Where were we? Did you ever find the clip? Oh, we forgot.
I forgot the clip.
Well, listen, I feel terrible talking bad about her, but lady, that's how 90% of the people see you. So I just feel like I'm letting the emperor know there's no clothes. I mean, you're butt naked in a bad way. And TBUSA was doing so much good work. Just stop the Israel worship. That is not your mission, okay? And it's not helping Israel either. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and I don't see it as you attacking Erica. I see it as you like almost like a big brother or like an uncle role where you're trying to give her advice. I don't see it as you.
Well, then people will say you're covering up for the murderers, and that's why I spoke out and said this is too much. Was just, we know she killed him, we know she's involved. Where's the evidence of that? Yeah. And if the government did kill him, or Israel, which looks like they did.
They did.
Yeah, I mean, do you really think she's in on it? I mean, just from studying how these systems work, you don't generally have a lot of people that know.
Yeah, and you're not going to put somebody like Erica at the helm of something this deep and dark. You're not going to put somebody that's that fragile on camera in charge of. Well, you were an
Navy SEAL and did a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of people that have been in like the most elite Delta Force and all the rest of it. And I had family that was in wet work, and people always go, "Oh God, you're part of the no." And I had family that told me the government was bad. They didn't give specifics till they were on their deathbeds, but I mean, I've studied the history of it and asked people about it and how it works. But I mean, it's like when they're sending an Army officer, to go do some job domestically, they don't even say it's like a file that you get under a trash can. I mean, you literally get a code. You told go to this place, and it's literally like Mission Impossible. They even can refuse the mission at that point, and that's how it's been since George Washington. So the non-commissioned aren't the assassins, unless it's like Delta Force going to on a sanctioned mission to kill somebody. But the actual wet work is done with Army officers that are highly trusted and who already have been involved in a lot of clandestine stuff. And then they get tested out overseas, and then they're retired. And then they've got this auxiliary of hitmen in every town and every place, and they're all compartmentalized. And and you get the call. Here's your mission. You go pick up what the mission is, and then it's got the codes of what you're supposed to do. That it's authenticated, and then you simply, in the old days, would just simply call a phone number. An answering machine answers and says, yeah, I'm going fishing. I accept whatever the code word for accept the mission is. It's all completely compartmentalized. And then, one day you open your truck up and there's a package sitting down on the floor and there's $50,000 in it. That's how it works. And so that's how the U.S. government kills people. Now with Kennedy, they got all the different organized crime international groups involved because they didn't want anybody blackmailing anybody. So in an operation like that, everybody has to come to a summit. And they had the final summit a week before in Dallas. I interviewed the admitted mistress, his main mistress of LBJ, Madeline Duncan Brown, and others. And I've broke the original, the deathbed confession of E. Howard Hunt. And we also broke the, insider stuff last year. They got like 100 million views where it was the head of the DNC admitting it all to the same story about the meeting in Dallas and all the rest of it. And notice Nixon was in Dallas that weekend at the Coca-Cola convention as well. And he was at the meeting. And so they got all the big commission guys in there. They had the head of the mafia, the Italian mafia was there. Like the had only one, and they had and it was confirmed later that they had an Israeli representative there. And then they, of course, they used Jack Ruby to take out Lee Harvey Oswald, the puppet, the patsy. And then he walked out of the meeting and the door was open. They were all like, that's it. And LBJ goes, those goddamn Kennedys will never embarrass me again after next week. And then she said on my show, we got to find those interviews. She said no. And then he was like, when they killed him, he was just really excited when he finally got back to Texas. Because if you go to the Driscoll, you have the cattleman's suite right there on the second floor. That's where LBJ basically lived when he was in Texas. He didn't live out at the ranch with Lady Bird. It was just hookers nonstop. And the guy was something else. And, but, I mean, he came to the cattleman's suite and he said, yeah, I got that son of a bitch. Now we're going to get his brother. And so that's not from the people themselves. And then E. Howard Hunt was a famous sniper from World War II in China. And he's the guy that Ethan Hunt in the Mission Impossible is based on. And he didn't pull the trigger, but he quarterbacked it and ran it. And he got picked up by the Dallas police. One hand didn't know what the other was doing back in the rail car. His famous photo of him and the tram's being marched out. And if you notice, when he saw the cameras, he went and did this so that it'd be hard to tell on the camera it was, but it was him. It's like, why are the guys all puffing their cheeks out and going like that when they're getting marched in front of the media? And then they let him go later when they figured out what was going on. But, I mean, Hunt did deathbed confession with a video. How they did it, whole 9 yards.
I didn't know that Mission Impossible was based around that guy.
Yeah, I know his son well, St. John Hunt, and also Nixon was set up by the CIA. He didn't even green light the plumbers. And so they basically went and set up him by having the botched robbery at the psychiatrist office of the Democrat presidential candidate. So that was all set up.
Jeez, they throw it right in our faces.
Absolutely, but
every time.
But in every other assassination operation, it's completely compartmentalized, and even the hitmen, know that unless they've been in a long, long time, and sometimes they'll use cutouts, and then those guys are idiots because they're going to get killed. So, I mean, people don't like going around doing high-profile assassinations. I mean, if you look at the Japanese. The ninja isn't just something in Hollywood. They were real. And they were several different secret societies where you wanted to have someone trained for up to 10 years. And they were so brainwashed into the cult with sex and opium that they would train for one assassination. And then they would crawl in and sneak in, to a palace or whatever at night, kill whoever the shogun or whoever the target was, and then they would, with their short sword, commit suicide. That way you never know who hired them. And of course, they didn't even know specifically who had hired their order to do the hit. So this has been very, very well refined. So you don't have 12 colonels, is my point, at Fort Huachuca, and they're all sitting around with Erica Kirk planning his killing the next day. It's not how it works.
No.
You don't do that. And it doesn't mean that they didn't kill him. It doesn't mean it isn't right to say there's a cover-up. It just means we can't put out horse shit.
Yeah, and you're not going to put Erica at the top of this, just like
Yeah.
I was saying earlier. You're not going to put somebody that is such a low Q score, as you were talking about earlier, to be in charge of keeping this deep, dark secret. Absolutely not. There's no way. But there is something fishy about her, and I think everybody can see it. Everything, whether it's just very awkward social interactions that she's having and not knowing how to behave on camera. Maybe she's getting her wires crossed with acting and in real life, and you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just very strange.
Well, but here's another example, just one factoid out of hundreds. I'm not saying she's innocent. I'm not saying she's good, any of that. I saw them go, oh, look, she was in a CIA production 15 years ago or whatever about cyber attacks and power outages. And then the former CIA directors interviewed the thing. It wasn't a CIA production. It was a film company production about cyber threat. And I remember at the time, there was major industry groups who were making dozens of films about it to lobby Congress to get $4 billion to put backup power transformers underground at these 60-plus key parts where somebody could shoot these up and bring down the power grid. So there was a big congressional lobbying thing happening at the time. I was approached by multiple filmmakers, including that film that she's in. They wanted to interview me for it, but I was too busy. So I'm so inside baseball, I was like, wait, I've seen that documentary. That's not CIA. That's a production company. So they went on and got her as an actor to sit there in a situation room and talk about that. And it looks like that's what they wanted to hire me for, was for that.
Do you remember what that production company was called?
No, I just remember that I don't do payola, where a guest pays to come on, unless it's openly a sponsor. And there's only a few of those, like my gold company. This is my sponsor, and he's an economist. He's interesting, talks about the economy, and then, plugs gold for 2 minutes. I had just remembered that production. I had remembered, and then I remembered that they reached out to a few other groups and said, hey, we'll pay you $20,000 to come on the show, because they were selling the DVD and also trying to get the $4 billion. It was a lobbying effort for national security. And so obviously the government was involved at some level. And I was like, no, you're interesting. I'll just have you on. So somebody could go dig up interviews. I interviewed those guys about that movie. So I just know right away, no, that doesn't mean she's in the CIA because she's in this movie. There was a major PR initiative.
But CIA adjacent.
Yeah, but when they put the video out and got tens of millions of views, the clip of her, they said this is a CIA production, and it wasn't a CIA production. I mean, there's probably been 30 books written about how in danger our power grid is and how it needs to be updated. They still haven't done it. And then they try to get Congress to pass the money to do this. So the only thing that connected to the CIA was, I think it was like Woolsey. No, it wasn't Woolsey. It was, what's that guy's name? They had a CIA former director in it. And the point is, this doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I've been in this so long, and I've seen so much that I know what something is most of the time when I see it. And then I tell people, no, this isn't a CIA production, and this doesn't mean she's CIA because she's in this. Oh, you're with them, you're covering it up. No, Kash Patel ordered a stand down of foreign involvement. I believe they killed him. I believe the White House was involved with the Israelis. That's what I think. The evidence is there. So just stop that debate. We need to look at that. We need to get into it. My point is, we can't then run down every rabbit trail, and then once the rabbit trail isn't real, continue to say it's real. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
But I'm babbling.
No, you're fine. That's what we're here to do, is babble. What do you think about this? This has been tearing up the internet lately. Do you think this guy's wearing a mask here? This is his original.
Yeah, I never responded to this admiral. I think I mentioned it once, just because my brain has gotten so serious.
What do you mean responded to him? Like he reached out to you?
No. I mean, I haven't covered this. I haven't responded to the story.
Okay.
First off, let's just say this. Do governments and corporations have masks that can fool people, and do they use them? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is disguise a big part of it? Does this stuff exist? Yes. If you go look at what that guy said in 100 other interviews on Fox and everywhere, he's a big war hawk, neocon. It's always the same thing. It's the same voice, the same spiel. So why would they need to replace him with a guy in a rubber mask if it's robotically saying the same thing?
If he had a change of heart?
Or maybe he died. What it really looks like to me is Ozempic or something like that. Like he's lost so much weight that when you get older, you can kind of, get that skin hanging down and then there's a shadow there.
Yeah.
And so I just stayed out of it because that's what I personally believe. Why would you? It looks like he's lost a bunch of weight fast. Put it to you that way.
Yeah.
And when you get older, you can get that, and then you get kind of
that doesn't look like skin hanging over the top. There's a definitive shadow underneath this. I mean, this is not a great picture, but look at that. I mean, look at the lines on the side.
It could be a trick of lighting and a digital artifact, but here's what I'm saying. In those skin masks they've got, they run down all the way down here, and it's. I mean, maybe it popped off. I mean, I don't know. In fact, I'll give people what they want. Yes, it's a skin mask.
No, I don't want you to give people what they want. I want you to you're honest.
Here's an example. Do you remember Skype's gone now, but we were early users of Skype right when it came out, and I would have guests on, and routinely you'd get digital artifacts where the mouth would do this or the eyes would pop out. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just and people would say, "Oh my God, Jones is having reptoid aliens on."
Yeah, but this is not Skype. This is not way back in the day. This is
no, I understand
the latest technology.
I understand. All I'm saying is that the message is total war, neocon, evil, worship Israel. It's the same evil message before. It's the same evil message now from the same globalist operative. He's an admiral, right?
Yeah.
So my point is, what is the motive?
Retired SEAL.
So what is the motive?
Yeah. I don't know. Controlling what he's saying. Maybe something happened to him. He had a change of heart. And they're like, Roger that.
Well, I mean, I know this.
We'll just put a mask on somebody else.
Dozens of skunk works and NASA engineers on secret aircraft being disappearing and now being found murdered. And so, like the top general of the head of the program. So, he's still missing. So that's definitely something real.
Mm-hmm.
But notice nobody cares about that. So, no, I mean.
Well, it's just drawing awareness to the fact that people could be wearing masks.
Well, I'll tell you what this is. And I agree with you, by the way. They do sometimes. This is because the public doesn't trust anything the government and media say anymore. And I think overall that's healthy. I have just seen with lighting, if somebody's got a fold of skin. I mean, my great-grandmother, well, one of them lived to 103 and the other lived to like 90-something. And I remember going to see them in the nursing homes. And, I mean, they looked like they were wearing skin masks because it's just like all this skin is hanging down. And if you look at the pictures of him from, a year before,
right,
it looks like he's lost a lot of weight. So all I'm saying is, I mean, remember they thought Mike Pompeo was wearing a mask a couple years ago. Well, obviously he was on Ozempic or something. He went from being like 300 pounds to like 170.
Mm-hmm.
Type in Mike Pompeo skin mask, and it looks exactly the same. Or like he had a trachea. Well, it's the same asshole. You can tell it's Mike Pompeo, the neocon, former CIA director. And it's the same crap spewing out of his mouth. And I watched him over like a year lose, it looks like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens when you're fat and old and you lose a bunch of weight?
Oh, here it is. Right here.
Yeah, see?
Let's see.
And they thought that was a skin mask. So, okay. But it doesn't matter.
Ooh.
So, yes, they were both wearing skin masks.
Yeah. There it is again now. Look at that. And it could just be a fold. But, man, why does it look like it looks like the skin's just torn apart. But the masks that you do see, they go way underneath. Like typically, like if they're pulling on a mask, it's going down.
I'm just going to say it again. If it's a guy in a mask, he sounds exactly like Pompeo and says the exact same evil stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Admiral. I'm just saying.
What's the point,
It's
right?
the same voice, the same crap. Like they got clones that sound, I mean, people think I'm a clone. Just go to X and type in Alex Jones clone.
Oh, yeah.
And you were the guy that, trained me. I've gained back like 15 pounds. I need to lose back there. And so over a year, I lose 65 pounds. And you could see me on air losing the weight. You were there.
Yeah.
You and Joe challenged me to do it. Thank you for doing that. And then just go to X. This is fun to talk about, actually. Just go to X and just type in Alex Jones clone. And I've had people like at the shopping mall walk over and go, "Oh, Bill Hicks, you're a clone." Wait, so I'm Bill Hicks, but I'm also a clone. No, I'm Alexander Jones, 52 years old, born in Dallas, Texas. And I am who I say I am. Yeah, you don't want to search Google. You want to search X. It's just, there's tens of millions of views on these. you just go to X and type in Alex Jones clone, and these people really believe I'm a clone. So, well, if I'm a clone, I don't know it. I mean, I got the same voice, the same brain, the same tics, the same mannerisms, and
There you go. Real Alex Jones clone.
Yep, clone. They
Man,
also go.
We had you really skinny back then.
They also go. Yeah, and then you lose another 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But they say
It's just crazy. Your face takes on weight. Like some people gain weight and it goes straight to their stomach, but for you, your face gets wider. That's, I mean, look at this. This is back when you were about 300 pounds.
look like a fat chipmunk.
And this is when we had you down to 230.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's crazy. That, I mean, I could see why people would think that.
Well, they also say my eyes used to be brown,
Yeah.
and they'll show some video where there's low light. My eyes have always been blue, folks. Always have. Always will be.
Yeah.
But they go, oh, look, the eyes are brown. No,
Yeah.
no, it's in shadow.
Yeah. Well, I get it. People can be confused, but that picture of that retired Navy SEAL, I mean,
It's a rubber mask then. I know this. He said he was going to go on a show and explain himself and then didn't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
So fine. I'm a clone. We're all clones. No, but show some more here.
What else you got?
There's
This-
Joe
there you
talking
go.
about it. Yeah, well,
Different guy. Yeah.
Who did, though?
Cloners. Damn good ones, too.
Cloners. Are they friendly?
But if you go online, there's a lot of people that believe that this is like a different person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people believe this has been co-opted by the government.
A clone army, and I must
Hey, I
say,
videotaped
one
that.
of the finest we've ever created.
He doesn't look like the same person.
Not
because
at all, dude. Yeah, I think that they recasted the guy because something happened to him over the offseason.
100%. You would think, oh, someone replaced Alex Jones with a fake Alex Jones.
Very impressive.
I'd hoped you would be pleased.
Imagine there's no internet, so we don't
You
know.
believe in a heartbeat it wasn't a road guy.
Sure. There's no way that's the same guy.
Yeah.
This guy on the left looks 15 years younger.
Keep going.
look, that's actual cloning tech. Alex Jones breaks his silence on being a clone. Got to put this out.
But you're not the real Alex Jones, so
Well,
we can't take it.
The clone believes it's Alex Jones.
We can't take it seriously.
The clone believes it's Alex Jones.
Hey, what do you think about the UFC at the White House next weekend?
I saw people, you have a video actually, I know you showed me. I saw people saying it's clown world, it's idiocracy, it's like President Camacho and the monster trucks. Teddy Roosevelt held boxing matches.
Yeah, but he was fighting in those, wasn't he?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got blinded in one eye. He was a tough son of a bitch.
I wish Trump would fight in this UFC card.
Who's he going to fight? Lindsey Graham?
That'd be actually fucking hilarious.
No, but I think it's fine. I think I heard you make the point where lifting weights that it could be a major terror target. Like flies to shit. And I'm not saying they're shit, you know what I mean?
Well, they got guards now. They're like those Secret Service guards. They're walking around with those like anti-drone guns now. Like anywhere Trump goes, there's one like right next to him.
Well, they're trying to green zone it now. And I'm not for a police state, but I do understand the problem is somebody can roll a truck bomb in there and cause a big problem.
Yeah.
And you better believe that's a real target.
Well, there's defense contracts now. They're trying to create rounds that when it's fired, it does like a shotgun spread. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only thing that they can do, I guess, without having to work with like electronics. That's like a drop and fucking go. They could just shoot a fucking round, shotgun spread, knocks a drone out of the sky. So the U.S. defense is like taking this very seriously. Like right now, we're obviously not in those we're not outside the wire. We're not in Ukraine or Russia. We're not dealing with this shit.
But we're learning by watching it.
But what they're doing is they're fucking, I don't know. If I'm a soldier, I got to be looking at this, like the moves that they're making. I feel like I'm going to be in a ground war soon. Right. If they're putting this much importance, they're putting these deadlines on this stuff. It feels like something's coming.
Well, again, you've got, including the admiral with the rubber mask, and fine, folks, rubber mask. Okay. You've got them all. The talking point is we've got to have a draft right now. And kicking in December, the Selective Service, they passed a law a few years ago, the Democrats did, that now it automatically registers you for the draft. It's not just so you're ready for the draft. They're preparing the draft, and they're all the Israel surrogates including the guy that just, with the Israeli money, beat Massey or there in Kentucky. He says, you got to go to full draft. Our boys and girls got to go.
Yeah.
And Europe's getting ready. In fact, a bunch of countries already passed conscription for women as well as men. So, yeah, the world is marching towards total war right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in the UK, over in, what is this, Southampton, this is that Henry Nowak. I don't know if you pronounce it Novak or Nowak, so I apologize to the family. But if you guys haven't heard about this. Nowak, yeah. Basically, this Sikh. So in the UK, you're not allowed to have knives. It's against the law. But if you're Sikh, you're allowed to have a ceremonial blade.
And 13 other tribal groups. As long as you're not white, you can have a knife. They run around, all of them, with machetes, swords, threatening everybody.
Yes.
Thousands of
ceremonial
Muslims march around screaming with their knives. Yeah. If you walk your dog outside, the Muslims attack you because dogs are unclean.
So the story goes with this. I'm not sure how this interaction started with these two guys, but
I know the whole story.
You want to tell it?
Sure. Well, you go ahead and give your take, then I'll tell you.
Okay. So basically, this guy gets stabbed by this Sikh guy. This guy wearing all blue, carrying around his 8-inch ceremonial dagger. Okay, he gets stabbed 5 times. This kid's very young. I think he was 18 or 19 years old.
In college.
In college, first-year college student. Okay, he gets stabbed. The police show up. This kid tells the cops, as the cops are trying to put handcuffs on him, he tells them, I can't breathe. I've been stabbed. The cop goes, no, I don't think you have, mate. Right? So, back up. So, when the cops arrive, the Sikh, he's a young guy too. His mom shows up, takes the dagger, okay? Takes the dagger so the police don't confiscate it. This guy picks up a phone and starts video recording Henry dying on the ground as the cops have Henry on his stomach and Henry's telling him, I can't breathe, and they're trying to put handcuffs on him.
Okay? And they wait an hour to put him on an ambulance. He's already dead.
Yeah, and one of the female cops, she goes, he says he's been stabbed. Shouldn't we fucking check him? And the guy goes, no, like that.
Now, that's all accurate, but I've been following very closely. I have the rest of the story.
Tell me.
So if you're already pissed off, wait to hear this. So now they've released not the footage that this monster shot, and wait to hear this, but they've released him leaving his apartment, Henry Nowak, and then him walking down the street and everything he did. And he's just basically walking by this guy's house. It's just a few doors down. And so the guy, and there's road rage video of this Sikh before in his ceremonial outfits in the middle of the road, waving swords and threatening people, and he's just freaking nuts, okay? So all this road rage video has been released from him,
right,
threatening other people, chasing people around the streets with swords.
Prior incidents.
Yeah, prior incidents. So he's a lunatic. You look at his mother and dad, and they look like Charlie Manson or something. And so he bumps into him, they think, and then he brandishes the knife, and he says, are you a bad guy? And then he stabs him once in the chest. Henry turns and runs, and he stabs him 3 more times in the back, and then he's still running and stabs him in the back of the thigh. So 3 in the back, 1 in the chest, and then 1 in the back thigh, running. And then he falls down. Well, this guy knows what to do. So he calls the police and says, a racist just called me Haji or whatever. And so under the law there, that's their highest thing. So now they're like, oh, yes. So then it takes about 15 minutes for the police to get there. This is all in the court record. And while that's happening, he's there with his family screaming, laughing at him. They release transcripts, but not the video. He's saying, why'd you do this to me? Help me, please. And he's like, nope. And then he celebrates it and says, look what I did to you. I got your ass. Ha, ha, ha. And then his mom comes and the family comes, and they talk crap to him, who's been stabbed 5 times.
Yeah.
And if you look at the knife, it's about 8 inches long, and it's like an ice pick up front, and it's really meant to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And to plunge in easily, but, really create a huge wound. And so the family's involved. She's probably going to get charged for hiding the knife. They get there, and the police get there, and within a few minutes, he's saying, I can't breathe. So they put him in handcuffs, and then he passes out, and then he dies.
So the thing with the getting stabbed anywhere in the torso area, right? Anything in the limbs, extremities, you can put a tourniquet on it to stop the bleeding, right? But anything in the chest, this is a pressurized area of your body.
The blood fills inside.
Well, no, it's the air that's breathing in, right?
Yeah.
So if I get stabbed in the chest, right, in the area where my lungs need room to expand and contract, okay? Basically, what I did is I created a hole. So every time I breathe out, your lungs are like a pressurized valve, okay? So if I'm inhaling, my lungs fill the whole space. If I exhale, I open up room within this pressurized cavity for air to get sucked in. And so what happens, you have to put a chest seal on that.
Yes.
Okay. So as he's sitting there, these few minutes before he
They could've
passed
saved
out
him.
and died, they could have saved him by just putting a pressure seal on that. And so every time you breathe in, oxygen fills the space and it blocks your lungs from being able to expand. That's why it takes a little while to die. And it's just fucked up. This is a horrible story. I feel so sorry for this kid, and I feel so sorry for his family. And if I'm in the UK right now, I'm fucking burning everything down.
And then the police won't even apologize. They all think it's funny.
Yeah.
And then they're beating up peaceful protesters and then saying they're violent. And Keir Starmer's, none of the police will take a knee like for George Floyd. But the reason we know all this is, and by the way, that's an amazing point. I meant the type of knife he used is designed for internal bleeding because it goes in small. Maybe type in the murder weapon used on Henry Nowak, see how vicious this thing is. It's called ceremonial. It's designed to kill somebody. But the point is that it plunges in, and so it creates a lot of internal bleeding.
Yeah.
But that's a side issue, why there wasn't a lot of external. So
here it is right here.
Yeah, there it is. So we have, in the court hearings, they say, we're not going to show this to the court.
Here's the guy.
We're not going to show this to the jury. But they gave him a transcript. They said it will prejudice them against the killer.
Right.
If you see the footage he shot, but then they describe how he taunted him and made fun of him.
Yeah.
And then when they show up, he goes, there he is, there's the racist.
Uh-huh.
And the police go, oh, good. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this scumbag.
There's the guy. There's the knife. Yeah, a real winner. You know, this shit's going on in Canada, too. It hasn't happened to this degree, but it's just a matter of time.
Oh, they got stabbings every day in Sweden and France and everywhere.
There was a young girl, I think she was, I want to say she was 19 years old. She took an Uber, okay? She's taking an Uber home. She's like a country girl, so she doesn't ride in a back seat, right? She's a country girl. She grew up. She never had to deal with anything. She's riding in the front seat, in the passenger seat while this guy's driving. This guy starts putting his hands on her leg and touching and feeling her, okay? She's like avoiding his advances, right? She gets to her house. She goes inside her house. This guy gets out of his car, follows her into her house, and rapes her. Okay, she calls the cops. The cops arrest the guy. They just slap on her wrist. They did nothing to him. They basically said he couldn't work for Uber anymore. He can't have a knife anymore, and that's it. And a house arrest.
Listen, they got cases in Germany.
And it's all on video. It's all on video footage.
Incredible.
It's happening in the UK. It's happening right north of our border.
And why is it the same whether it's liberal cities in the U.S. or Canada or Australia or Europe? Because it's all the left that runs it. It's all the open society, George Soros systems, puts the judges in, trains the judges, the prosecutors. And this is a war. Yeah. And so there are cases where a woman gets gang raped by Muslims, and then none of them get jail time, but she gets 3 years in jail for saying deport the Muslims.
Right.
So they know what they're doing. They're not like misguided liberals. They're bringing in an outside force that works for them, that knows it's above the law. That's why they had 500,000, the number down in the government findings, little white girls raped, only white girls, by the Pakistanis mainly, who would then supply them in these slave brothels, kidnap them, kill them, chop them up, turn them into meat kebabs, everything I'm saying you can look up. And Keir Starmer was the head CPS magistrate for 15 years and covered it all up. Mm-hmm. So, and then the Pakistanis would supply the little girls to the white pedophiles. They would deliver them in dog cages. And they misbehaved, they would nail their tongues to boards. Jesus. They would have German shepherds gang rape them and then also kill them and produce snuff films. This all came out in a parliamentary report last week, and the Keir Starmer overrode it and said no investigation. And now it's up to, I had a member of Parliament on last week about this, 500,000. And you start looking, these are proven cases.
Do you feel like we're losing the fight between good and evil right now in this world?
I mean, when you talk about blue jurisdictions, I mean, I wasn't poo-pooing the story you told me. It's absolutely true. I've seen that report. There are literally hundreds of stabbings and killings a day in the Western world. 80+% is migrants, invaders, most of them Muslim. And they come here and they say, if you are a kafir or a profane or an infidel, you are allowed to be enslaved, killed, whatever. They can deal you drugs. They can kidnap your daughter. They can do. I mean, under Islam, if your wife or your daughter gets raped, it's their fault. They've committed the crime. Okay, so this is the truth. I mean, Islam invented the most deranged forms of slavery.
Yeah.
And they invaded Spain and reportedly took out 3 million women over 700 years for sex slavery.
But do you think this world we're losing the fight between good and evil right now? Do you feel like the scales are getting tipped?
I think we were losing. We didn't know how bad it was because we were all busy watching TV and compartmentalized and our heads in the sand. But I think now we have been losing. Now we're starting to gain ground. We're still losing.
What's this awareness?
But at the current rate, the Great Awakening.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we were in a football game, we were 25 points behind. Now we're 7 points behind. And we got another quarter left, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just saying the magnitude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the video. You can find it online. It's pretty grotesque. Henry's laying on his stomach. Cop's got his knee on his back. I mean, it's what happened with the George Floyd situation
On
here in the
steroids.
States. This is what it should have been to bring that kind of reaction from the public and all the rioting and stuff. But
George Floyd really died of 3 times the overdose of fentanyl.
Yeah,
that's in his autopsy. They suppressed that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not defending what happened to him, but the point is that this wasn't a racist cop who's in prison right now. He worked as a security guard off duty. Was friends with Floyd. That all came out, but they wouldn't let it in the trial. And the prosecutor later resigned and admitted, no, we put an innocent man in jail. They have the autopsy report. He had 7 illegal drugs in him. Enough fentanyl to kill 3 full-grown men his size.
Jesus.
Methamphetamine, everything else you can imagine. He was out of his mind. And so they used that hold on him and all the rest of it. That's not what killed him. It wasn't asphyxiation. But absolutely, this is George Floyd for real.
Yeah.
But remember, they won't release, but they admit in the court, the tape of the Sikh.
Yeah, him holding his phone, videotaping. Imagine you just fucking stab somebody. He's dying on the ground, and you're gonna pull out your phone and video record.
You can
this
pull up
kid
the
dying.
transcript. It was in the news. I mean, the court said it's too provocative. It will prejudice the jury against him. Well, how is video of him celebrating? Yeah, you're gonna die, effer, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the cop should be goes, oh, the racist is right there. Oh God, I didn't stab him. He's a liar. Oh.
What's that kid's name? Vikram, right? The guy that stabbed him.
And then whatever his name is. It's like the classic thing. The point is that any random woman can go to India and walk out in a crowd of men. They're going to start trying to rape you. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're Hindu. It doesn't matter whether they're Muslim. And there are some higher caste, and I'm not into caste systems, but there's high class Indians and Pakistanis and all that. Let's get that straight. But these are countries with billions of people, with rivers of feces. I can show you videos of what they feed the school children, where they pull giant feces out of the butts of cows and then cut it up and as for lunch.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm not kidding you, man. It's just like there are superior cultures. Everyone wants to come here because it's not perfect, but it's superior.
Yeah.
And we just need to say, we're territorial. Either get with the program or get the fuck out.
Doesn't feel like we're gonna get that.
Go to X and type in Indians eating cow poop. I mean, you cannot make this up. There's thousands of videos. They eat it right out of the butts of the cows. I mean, and they've got Kali that they worship. It's like the Satan female deity of destruction. And they'll be starving to death, but they give milk in these giant urns that these rats come and eat every day.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
और में से 1 चम्मच जूस निकाल के अगर प्रेगनेंसी में समय समय पे लेते रहे तो नॉर्मल डिलीवरी के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं। मेरी वाइफ ने भी गोमूत्र पिया और गाय के गोबर का रस का उपयोग किया प्रेगनेंसी में। दोनों बच्चे मेरे नॉर्मल डिलीवरी से हुए।
Now stop right there. Type in Indian woman eats poop out of cow's butt. I didn't play it on my show last week. I should have, because it is the most disgusting thing you can imagine.
You saved it for the podcast.
I saved it for you. But I mean, I'm saying this is gross, man. I mean, that's all they have is rivers of poop. And we're told this is the superior thing we should bow down to. By the way, 80% of the H-1B visas in the U.S. come out of India. And did you know that 70+% from one little province?
Yeah.
because they pay off the government to only let their tribe in. They don't just not, once Indians get control of a tech company, they don't just not hire anybody but Indians. They only hire certain Indians. I mean, we're talking like 100-foot tall. You'll be sitting there by a river that's already full of garbage, and it'll back up, and all of a sudden there's like a 100-foot log jam.
This one?
100 feet tall of a huge wall of trash. They have trash.
There you go. Jesus Christ. Look at the pigs. The pigs and the dogs are just munching away on stuff in here. If you're just listening to this river has I mean, it looks like a landfill on both sides of the river.
By the way, this is nothing. There's footage, we can find it, that is like, it log jams like 200 feet tall, and then it breaks.
Oh, here you go.
And these avalanches, I mean, I'm talking about a wave of garbage comes down, like runs over houses, you name it.
Look at that. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
This is all lightweight. I mean, it's not your fault. I gave you the search term, but this is all lightweight stuff. This is like, these are the nicer areas. Oh, this is just a nice thing. Yeah, drinking out of the gutter.
Oh my God. It looks like a fucking zombie. This guy's literally drinking out of sewage water that's just like running down the little edge between the road and the sidewalk.
That is a superior culture.
Wow. Oh my God.
Now he's eating some garbage. No, this is all lightweight.
I've never seen this before. This is insane.
You can also type in Indians worship poop. They have a whole religion of worshiping poop.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Grizzly Coolers, the only cooler I trust when I'm out there. Roto-molded, bear-proof, and holds ice for 10 days straight. And unlike the overseas knockoffs, every Grizzly is proudly made in America with American steel and American grit. Hit grizzlycoolers.com and use my code Sean, that's SHAWN, for 15% off. Grizzly Coolers, built here, built tough.
Oh, that's the woman.
Here's the lady eating from the cow's asshole. Oh my God.
They take it and slice it up and feed it to school children.
Oh my God.
No longer video.
This cow just took a shit the size of a baby. The woman grabbed it before it could hit the ground. She's walking with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to watch anymore. Ah!
Oh my God. And she's smiling. They're laughing.
Yeah, there's a longer version where they then serve it up. That's a steak.
I don't want to watch that version.
You don't want to watch.
I can't do this. This is so gross, man.
You think I was joking now?
Nah. Here's kids playing with cow shit.
Hey, that's nothing. That's nothing. They have religious events where they all wallow in it and eat human shit.
Like a mud fight.
And they also, you wonder why hepatitis is spreading, completely out of their minds. But listen, look at this river of garbage. They bathe in this and then they poop in it. This is hell.
This is what is coming to all of us real soon.
Maybe type in garbage avalanche.
This guy's eating rice and curry right off the fucking floor, mixing it with his fingers. Jesus, fuck.
Type in garbage tsunami India or garbage avalanche. I mean, of course, when you don't want to find them, they're everywhere. But it's like it'll just like literally just show a whole river with just giant garbage avalanches. We're told there's no white culture. Remember that the whites have produced nothing, just everything.
Yeah.
We have no culture.
Jesus.
You take the deep dive on India, pal.
Well, let's go. Yeah, I didn't even want that. Now I can't get it out of my fucking head. Well, this is going on in the UK right now, right? Just another night in the UK. You sent me this one.
And that's not the British doing that. The Muslims are rioting. They're rioting all over Europe, killing everybody, burning everything.
I know you.
And then the Keir Starmer goes on TV and says, the white people are the problem. Our real culture is Islam. The greatest example of England and being English is Islamic. And the migrants are the real British. He said that yesterday.
Yeah.
He is in Parliament. The migrants and the Muslims are the true British. The white people you see are the enemy. It's all about just doubling. And then meanwhile, in England, they have white people being confronted because they run slavery, not knowing England ended slavery, and then Africa still has slavery in some areas. Here it is.
Here you go.
Dare you? What are you? Because you're fucking full of shit. That's why. How dare you? You're talking facts? Let's talk facts, pussy. Let's talk. So do something about it. Do something about it, Brit.
How'd
Do
you
something
get
about
into
it,
this
Brit.
country? How'd you get into this country?
Fuck you talking about?
It's in the U.S.
How dare you?
That's a really
Because you're a
interesting
piece
New
of
Jersey.
shit. And you're a fucking liar.
It's an interesting
You're a
New
liar.
Jersey accent.
You're a liar.
Would you like me to say
You're a
something? Why are
liar,
you shaking?
bro. I just asked you. I just asked you.
The left is just a bunch of aggressive terrorists that hate the West and hate white people.
Should we keep going?
They're like telling him he's a slave owner.
Yeah. No, I think it's just going to be more of the same. So this is almost like, history books being written and rewritten to honor the victors. That's what it feels like right now. So it doesn't really matter what the facts are. It's what they decide to
Well,
put
the
up.
world's 93% not white. So if the left and the ADL, and that's who it is, and the Southern Poverty Law Center, and it's the same in Europe, can go mobilize them to hate white people, you can then organize them politically to take over.
Yeah.
And then the enemy is just some white person. And so, I mean, it's happening every hour in the UK. Something like 90% of the stabbings and murders are the non-citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And they just run around murdering, killing, slaughtering. And if you talk about it, they've had over 30,000 arrests a year now. If you speak out against somebody stabbing your family to death, they put you in jail. You understand that?
Yeah.
It's way worse than people know. And it's the same in Sweden, in Germany, in Denmark, in Spain. You can pull up the Spanish government saying, we're opening the borders to Muslims and everybody else, and we welcome our goal, the president said, is getting rid of white people. And I mean, and these African mobs just they have daggers and weapons. They start murdering, raping, killing. They're throwing people out of their houses, turning it over to them.
Well, here's this right here I just found. Insane scenes as hordes of Africans continue to invade Spain. The Spanish government just offered full-fledged citizenship to over 500,000 migrants. Now half of Africa wants in. You are witnessing the collapse of Western civilization in real time. With all this stuff going on, like I know we just asked.
It's called replacement migration. It's an official ADL plan.
I just asked you if you thought the scales of good and evil in this world were tipping in favor of evil. And you said that you think we're actually winning. How does that make sense considering everything that we're seeing around the world?
Let me explain what I said. I get it. I babble. We were totally asleep and totally screwed. Now the Great Awakening is happening. The globalists and their own white papers admit it's happening. So there's an awakening, and people are starting to get politically involved. We're starting to have some victories. So we're getting close to starting to turn the tide and win. Okay, so we're coming from behind. But listen, that's why the globalists are flooding us with 90% military-age men. They have UN NGOs in Africa, the Middle East, all over the place, where they bring the lowest IQ criminals. The governments dump their criminals out. They take them up to 6 months to a UN refugee center, show them videos, movies about whites are evil, America's bad, Europe's bad. You're going there to get women. You're going there to get free money. They have schoolgirls in Germany, in Wales, in England. I can show you these. Anything I'm telling you, I'm pull up.
I believe.
10 years old going, baby, I want you. I'm wearing short, schoolgirl. You are African. You are Muslim. I'm waiting for you in Wales. I'm here at the girls' school. And in Germany, same thing. Like, oh, hi, I want you, Muslim. And then they run ads on children's TV saying, I'm 12 and I've married a 24-year-old Muslim. He pleasures me well. And then they air this for the Muslims to see it. Then they get to the staging grounds on the coast of, Tunisia and places. And then these big Zodiac boats that hold like 100 people at a time, sometimes big ships, hundreds of them a day are hitting. And they have knives. They jump off going, just take the towns. You got footage right here. Yeah. This is just this week. And then stabbing, murdering, killing. Everyone hides. Guys with clubs, beating, killing. If you try to stop them, the police come in and dominate your ass. So it is a takeover by design. And so this is just the full war. ADL, Israel lobby, but the Vatican's funding it too. They won't take one person in the Vatican City, 200-foot walls, but the Pope says you must take them, flood, attack. He says, I don't want to hear about the Christian roots of Europe. Attack, attack. Yeah. And so this is their jihad, but the globalists, the left is just using the Muslims and the Red and Green Alliance to do this. So there's no way to hype this. Like, that doesn't sound real. I can show you footage out of Ireland, Scotland, England, Spain, Germany, where the NGOs have schoolgirls, 10, 11, 12, literally shake their ass and say, I'm waiting. I want African men, baby. And then they show them this on TV in these third world, and then they go to the refugee center, are brainwashed for 6 months on average, loaded on ships or airplanes and flown in. And they show up going, I'm here for the women. I'm here to conquer you. Some of you know English. I can play you. I saw 50 videos this week. I'm here to conquer. I'm here to get white pussy. Your women are my slaves. I'm going to fucking rape you, motherfucker. And it's just like psychotic. Oh, we got to make a film about it. Just, you got to just see. Dude, I swear to God, you can pull this up. I told you got a woman eating poop out of the cow. What was the thing I was just saying? Oh no, show that that's nothing. But at least you found one.
Which one?
Show the invasion of the Africans just climbing over the fences, running around. They're robbing 18-wheelers. Imagine like 100 Africans just run out and rob your 18-wheeler, drag you out, loot it. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, you can't make this up. You just had it up there.
I know, I deleted it.
Well, it doesn't matter. Just type in African hordes invade Spain.
Yeah.
Just type Africans invade Spain. Play. Full screen.
It looks like World War Z.
It just goes on and on. But you ought to see the footage once they get in. And then just the 500,000 they just legalized was the latest script. They've legalized like 3 million there. And by the way, no jobs. I saw this footage in Spain this morning.
Right here?
Yeah, this is one.
There you go.
I sent you one out of Spain where they just walk around with clubs just beating people in the head.
Yeah, here you go. They made it through.
But it gets worse. I saw footage this week out of Ireland, these Africans who don't have any jobs, given brand new council houses. I mean, nice little cottages. And they go, thank you, Irish government, for the money. They open their trunks full of all this hamburger and food. And they go, we don't work, we party. You work for us now. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, go ahead and play this. This is nothing.
Coming soon to a Western culture near you.
He's got those hook claws things.
What are those? What are those hook claws?
It's like they kill you with it. It's like see it? The
Yeah.
hooks.
It's a warning.
That's nothing. You haven't found the bad stuff this week yet. Let me see. Wait till you see. This is nothing. Keep going. What's the exact search term? You got to use their terms. Type migrant boats arrive in Spain.
Okay.
You'll have like 20 black boats just racing in with UN operatives running it. And they just jump off and they see the first camera person and they go, I kill you, I kill you, I kill you. They're such friendly people.
Yeah. Now would be a good time for Jesus.
Oh, look at
to
this.
come
This is a good one
back.
here.
There you go.
This is a normal day. Look at this.
In Spain, huh?
Military age men marching around and like
it's a full takeover. Yeah. Throwing up gang signs. They got gangs too, people.
No, notice they're all wearing shorts. They just got off boats here. This is a coastal town.
Yeah.
Type in African migrants arrive by boat in Spain or England, anywhere you want. Yeah, I mean, look at this horde right here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Man, I saw some footage last week that's brand new, and it's like the hills. There's like 1,000 men going, and the highway's blocked, and then next are like pulling families out of their cars. They just drag them off in the brush.
Jesus, man.
This is how the globalists wage war on us. Yeah, look at this.
They're doing a good job.
North Africa, sub-Saharan background are blamed for Paris riots. There's riots in like 10 European countries right now. Cities shut down, everything burning right now. I mean, look right there.
Yeah.
And see, we're all sitting here because of Texas. We got all the guns and stuff. This is like another planet to us, but this is just 6,000 miles away. Yeah, here's a migrant boat. Look, all military-age men.
Holy shit, look at that.
And they all got multi-thousand debit cards, $500, $1,000 smartphones, all provided by the NGOs.
And what is being done with these NGOs? Is anybody going to war with them?
No, they Doge did, and Trump got rid of Elon. Now it's continued. And I had Bovino on, the former head of the Border Patrol. He said, no, they're firing all the good people, and Trump's bringing in all the former Democrats to run it.
Look at this. So this says, a North African immigrant tries to break in and abuse a female bus driver in Spain after she refused his sexual advances. He's smacking the window on the bus right now. Running and jumping and kicking
This is
the
nothing.
bus.
They have migrant appreciation concerts in Germany and Sweden, and then young women show up, and there's videos of like 300 men gang raping them.
Yeah, this guy's out of his fucking mind crazy.
No, that's a
They
superior.
got a real problem.
That is
over
cultural
there.
enrichment, bro. By the way, you know tourism is down like in Paris 80%. I mean, we're not just cherry picking. Oh, here's good footage. This is one of the ones.
Right.
This is last week. Look at this. Yeah, and they're coming down off the hills by the thousands.
It looks like a marathon.
Yeah, this is the real stuff right here. This is last week.
It looks like the Boston Marathon.
And next
That's
they
how many
start-
people are running.
No. They start grabbing families out, and you see them drugged into the brush. And it's mass death, bro. And they're throwing their family.
And it's all men. It's all
And
military
they're
age
throwing
men.
people out of their homes in Germany, in Sweden, in Spain, and giving it to the illegal aliens. Then it cuts to Ireland, and they're sitting back going, thank you, Irish government. And it's just nothing but pallets of steaks. We don't work. We rule you. Beautiful new homes.
How
given to
can
them.
these people just be giving up their country?
Within a month, they will all have brand new homes and T-bone steaks every day. They'll put them in 4-star hotels, laundry service, everything, and then they'll rape everyone in
This
the
is
vicinity.
like becoming biblical scale here.
No, this is who we are, though. This is like you think of a cuck having a guy have sex with his wife.
Yeah.
That's not cucking. Cucking's turning your kids over so the government can brainwash them and cut their penises off. Cucking is this. Now you finally found one of the ones. There's one where like 1,000 come over the hill, and then it cuts to just grabbing 18-wheeler drivers out and just smashing their heads in. And then if you criticize them, you go to jail. I want you to see the Spanish government. The president.
Holy shit.
Yeah, look at this one. See?
South African xenophobic mobs linked to the March and March movement pour into the streets in one of their anti-African immigrant protests. Many Africans from other countries have either lost their lives, properties, or been injured in such protests.
Yeah, let's talk about that. They have rallies with 500,000 people where they go, kill the whites, kill the farmer. There's only 20,000 farmers left, 20,000 farms.
No, I know. I have family there in South Africa.
That's right.
They've told me stories. In South Africa, if you're a farmer, you have to keep a panic room or like an emergency room. And these people show up there. You can call the cops. The cops might show up in 2 or 3 days, sometimes a week. So they have panic rooms where they have metal bars set up.
And tell them what they do. Their favorite thing is to boil your children and eat them.
Yeah. And so these people will come, move into these farmers' houses, take all their shit, eat all their food, and these families lock themselves down in a cellar with metal bars, locked metal bars, so they can't get in and to kill them. And they just have to wait it out.
And if they don't, they get eaten.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh,
man.
just type in the South Africans eat white farmers. You want to see that?
Let's go.
But hold on. Before you do that,
while we're here.
Yeah, you can't make this up. Let me give you something really important here. There's a bunch of videos now where they have like 80-year-old British veterans are sleeping, and the police come and say, you're not allowed to sleep at the park. And he's like, mate, you threw me out of my house. So these filmmakers take him. He goes, that's my house. They threw me out a year ago. And there's all these Muslims in his, because it's a council house, paid for because he's a veteran. He's on the street, and the cops are arresting veterans for sleeping in the bushes. And oh, God. Sean, the footage of the liberal police they have, they're mainly like soft, like mentally retarded women, and they're on power trips, and they love it.
Oh, yeah.
They
I'm
love
sure
it.
do.
They love it. They love it.
Just another disabled man being arrested by British police, blind and disabled. His crime, holding up a sign at a protest that Keir Starmer doesn't approve of. Look at this guy, blind in a wheelchair, and there's about 4 cops pulling his wheelchair.
And if you look, those cops
and
are
then
all...
there's somebody
look
yelling
at
in his face.
Look at the cops. They're all Muslims. They're all North African Arabic with women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it'll be like also hot chicks. They're like, I love Islam.
Yeah.
And these people are sick, man. They hate themselves. They've really been taught to hate themselves in their culture.
It's an extermination of the white. This is an
And
extermination.
then look at all the brown people yelling at the blind old man.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an extermination we're seeing like in real time right now.
Here's the thing, Sean. I could sit here 50 hours a day. There's not enough time. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, just what you've seen is nothing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This stuff pops up and then they take it down. There's footage. I mean, I'm talking like 50 men lined up, and these women, like it'll show time lapse. They come to the local migrant appreciation liberal culturalism thing, and the police do nothing. In Germany and Sweden's the worst, and France, and the women, these young beautiful women show up. Some of them are like supermodels, and they just grab him, and he's like, 2 hours later, the woman's just like, and like you can zoom in, and there's like hundreds of men raping him, and the police just go, sorry, mate, doing nothing for you. And so it just goes on and on and on and on. And you look at the liberal police, they like it because they're not touched. They know this is a weapon they've directed.
Yeah.
It's like when the Soros judges and DAs let out somebody that's committed murder or all this stuff for no reason, spend a week in jail. It's their weapon. It's their Frankenstein. This is Dr. Frankenstein made the monster, didn't know he'd be, evil or stupid, and then it was an accident. No, they're making Frankensteins and releasing them on purpose, man.
Fuck, man. Jesus, now's a good time.
And what I'm saying is,
now's a good time.
What I'm saying is that as crazy as I say, talking about this, it's all right there.
Yeah.
So where do you see this going?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I know Elon's trying to go to war with George Soros.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing those headlines, but I don't know if he's actually doing anything.
No, he did. He went and got all the Doge stuff, how to indict him, and then they just kicked him out.
Yeah.
And then now Trump is
so what do we have?
Quickly reversing all of it. I mean, I had Bovino on, and
what do we have left?
He's now gone public. He said they're basically reversing.
Who's the Superman that's going to be able to stop this? That's a good question. We thought Trump was our last great hope, and all he seems to give a shit about is Israel.
I'll tell you what it is. You know about the Canary Islands and all that and the dodo bird. So for millions of years, there was no predator of the dodo bird. It's bigger than a turkey. And so within a few years of sailors getting there, all the dodo birds were gone because they wouldn't run. They wouldn't defend themselves. You go take their eggs, they wouldn't do anything. You just conk them on the head, you got a dinner for 10 people.
Yeah.
And the dodo bird's gone. So our identities, we're the good West, and we're not the racist, and World War II, even though we beat Hitler, we're like Hitler because the ADL, said so. And so we have to commit suicide to prove we're good. And they've brainwashed the women. I mean, it's just true. White women all over the West are just, I've seen cases where the woman gets raped, her mother gets killed, and she'll say, I just feel bad for the migrant. He was mistreated, that's why he killed my mother.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you see these liberal white women will like go to Africa, go to Asia, go to India, and they'll say, I'm going to prove it's great. They get raped, they get tortured. They say, it's all right. It's all right. Because they grew up hating their daddy and their brothers. And they believe their independence is overthrowing the West, that empowers women. And so they just once they get in this sick Stockholm syndrome, it's like a baby chicken gets born or a duck, it imprints on the first thing it sees.
Yeah.
And so we've imprinted our children, particularly women, on the state that wants to kill them. And so they believe it's their God. They believe it's their helper. And they just can't believe it, And so no matter how horrible it is, they love it.
Yeah. I'm not advocating for this, but, if there was a group out there that was capable of rounding up all of these politicians that are making these decisions that are bringing us into all of their countries, don't kill them. Don't arrest them. Just pick them up, take them over there where these people are coming from, and drop them off.
Absolutely. Well, and let's be clear. There are good people from every place.
I'm just saying that would be interesting.
I agree. That's a great idea. But give them their own medicine. But they are defending the very worst. They bring in the worst military-age men on purpose to degrade society. It's Cloward and Piven. Plan to look it up, collapse society. So, but if you look at Eastern Asia, South Korea, Vietnam, Japan, China, they don't put up with this stuff.
Yeah, and they're not dealing with this stuff.
It's the culture issue.
Yeah.
And so they brought in a few 100,000 Muslims and noticed all their shrines start getting burned down, their Buddhist shrines, their Shinto shrines. They noticed the Muslims would go and chant and do call to prayer, and then a week later their temple would burn down. And so they built some mosques and stuff. The Japanese just all got together, and they all just went with hammers and picks and just dismantled all their mosques last week. They just tore them all down. Yeah. Japanese just quietly went and tore it all down, and now they're just they're all grabbing them, loading them on airplanes, and kicking their ass out. I sent you a clip, if you can find it in the list I sent you. This is just indicative. It's a Muslim woman screaming at the police in the UK. We gave you your freedom. We fought for you. When in truth, they've done the numbers. Almost no Muslims have fought for the UK ever, and most of them fight for ISIS or Al Qaeda. But this is their attitude. Because if you look at BBC TV and even ours here, almost all the Vikings are black now. You know, Oxford and Cambridge now teach that there is no white culture, there is no Saxon culture, there is no British or Irish or Scottish culture.
They are rewriting history.
We don't exist.
They're rewriting history right now.
Yeah.
We're watching it happen.
All right.
You all know that. This is how they want their rights. This is how we got rights in this country. We fought for it. We fought for it.
This is what will be taught in history books in the near future.
What did you fight for? You look like you just come out of school. What did you fight for? My grandfather fought for the country, not you. No way. Stop being a paedophile. Move away. Paedophile. Well done. Is that half your age? Is that the word of the day?
But listen, it's done on purpose. I could pull up 100 videos of members of the legislature in Minnesota saying Somalia founded Minnesota 3,000 years ago, and this is where we're from, and we founded America, and we wrote the U.S. Constitution, and so we own all of Minnesota.
Yeah.
And you're just like, because some Indian, Native American name Lake is a similar word to them.
Right.
Sounds the same. I mean, it's all the same crap.
Would you agree that this is probably what's going to be taught in history books if we do not stop this?
Well, already all the major AIs except for Grok, you type in "show me the founding fathers," it just shows you black guys. And again, nothing against black guys. It's not black guys programming that.
Let's see that.
Yeah, it was Gemini was the big one doing it. It was a big controversy. Now they just don't let you even search that. Usually, just blocks it.
Okay.
No. Go to Google and search, or go to X and search this. Just say AI returns images of founding fathers as blacks. Or if you type in American couple, it's always a black guy with a white girl, 100% of the time, because it's all pre-programmed.
Yeah, we got Donald Trump posting stupid AI fucking pictures with aliens walking.
Type in Google.
All this shit going on.
Google AI shows founding fathers as African. Just show that. Google AI. Say Google AI. But I'm telling you, you got all these crazy entitled people. And again, the average black person don't want to be part of this. It's the universities, it's the NGOs, it's the system. But these military-age men they're bringing in, it's bad. Yeah, look at this.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. Oh, SS officers were all black. Hey, roll up here. Just show the New York Post headline. Yeah, there it is.
This one.
History messing.
Google's woke AI makes Vikings black and the Pope a woman. And this is an image you get for founding father. George Washington was black.
And we tested it. You couldn't get an image of a white person.
Yeah. There you go. History rewriting itself in real time. That's what we're living through right now.
And why is it? It's because the West, the idea of private property, due process, self-defense, is antithetical to the globalist model they're bringing in. So they're just using third world populations to assault and tear down the West. Then they're going to kill the third world populations with race-specific bioweapons.
What is this one right here? You sent me this.
I mean, I could show you 10,000 videos of imams, including on national TV, saying, we're going to kidnap their women under our law. They don't convert to those. We're going to sell them to sex slavery. We've got the numbers. We're going to conquer them. And then as soon as they hit 5-6%, they start the jihad, which you're now witnessing. It's all in the Quran. It's a battle plan from Muhammad how to do this. So they act like they're your friend until they get up to a certain number. Then they drive you out of the neighborhood, then the town, and the city. Then they take over. Go ahead. Just an imam telling you what he's going to do to you.
Are we watching the end of the West as a whole right now?
That is the ADL plan. The ADL had their gala 4 years ago with Sacha Baron Cohen. And they said if someone says there's replacement migration, they need to be arrested, including Alex Jones. Now, replacement migration is an official UN plan to replace white people with brown people.
Yeah.
It's on their website. But the ADL literally is at war with the West because they want to rule a divided and conquered Tower of Babel.
Makes sense. Yeah. Divide and conquer.
They don't want to unify us under Western values where everybody can get along and have a future. No.
You know, I always thought divide and conquer meant like dividing by countries. But what I'm seeing now, this is dividing within countries. All right, let's look at this. Islamic preacher, when Muslims become the majority in the West, in the next 40 years, non-Muslims will have to convert, pay jizya, how do you say that? Or be killed because Sharia will rule. Is this the message clear? Or do they need to spell it out?
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. In return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. Subhanallah, for this little money? Yes. And you enjoy sitting in your homes and in your country and live your life normally. But the ruling is for Sharia. So you do not open nightclubs, you do not fornicate. If they refuse, then we have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take because you refuse. I give you two good options in the coming 40, 50 years when the Muslims become strong, as they're supposed to be.
And of course, they always make you pay the Jesus tax at first, and then they take everything you got.
Yeah.
But I can show you them on Palestinian TV saying, women, like, and when we take over America and we take over Israel, we are going to take their women. It is good to have them as sex slaves because they are profane, infidel, and we will sell them as sex slaves. And if they get the problem, you kill them. It is of Allah. People go, well, God, you should be for Israel, running our Pentagon and then funding Hamas and groups so they no, it's all bad. I just want to say anything Middle Eastern just needs to stay over there.
Yeah.
Just go away, go away, go away.
What is China and Russia saying about all of this?
You know what? I'm going to tell the Muslims and the Jews this. The West is the chosen people. The West is the chosen superior culture. So I'm going to start being like you. I am chosen. I am superior. My ways are the best. I'm the light of the world. Okay? The West is the best, as Jim Morrison said. You should obviously recognize the superiority of that. Stop trying to tear that down. Oh, God, is it bad to hear somebody say they're superior to you? Like you fucking Muslims and the fucking Zionists? Fuck off. I'm sick of your shit. Fuck you. We're done being your slaves. I'm fucking sick of this, man.
What is Russia and China saying about all this stuff going on around the world?
I mean, Russia says that George Soros and the globalists have bitten us with the vampire bite of Satanism to bring us down. And they just got to stay separate from us and they won't die.
Right.
And then the Chinese are like funding all the left and the poison as much as they can. They're out to get us.
Oh, they're enjoying watching this.
Well, they're loving it.
Oh,
because they're totally.
But as far as their country, they don't.
The Chinese, nothing against them, but they're homogeneous. They have the closest genetics, even more so than Jews, and so they believe, and they've been around 6,000 years. They believe they're going to rule, and they got 100-year plans, and so they believe they're the chosen people.
And America's like, we're just going to let everybody rule. Fuck it.
And as white people, we don't say we're the chosen people or we're the best. We just say, oh, God, we're so sorry. We're horrible. Do whatever you want. Run over us, rape our daughters, cut our sons' dicks off. Yes, we suck. Teach us how to eat poop. Stab us to death. Oh, we love you. Thank you, please. And I'm just saying, how about we just say, don't tread on me? How about we'll see how superior you are once people get woken up. Because I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with all of it.
I don't even know how we end this podcast, to be honest. This is like dark shit. This might be the darkest podcast we've ever done.
Maybe the darkest podcast ever done. Because the times are getting darker.
Yeah.
And another thing.
Where's the refuge? We got to leave people with some refuge here.
I mean, even Israel and the Rothschilds get us into this war. The real target wasn't Iran. It was the world economy to collapse it, to bring in their central bank digital currency. That's just how cynical this is. And Trump didn't understand that and got set up. The good news is the end of ignorance is coming to an end. I mean, ignorance is coming to an end for people that are going to survive. And the end of just being blissfully ignorant is here for anybody that wants to have any future. And I mean, look at the world. Everything I talked about 30 years ago has come true because I was studying what they were planning. And I looked at stuff globalists wanted 80 years ago. They had it done 30 years later. I looked at stuff they wanted in the 70s. They had it done by the time I got on air in the early 90s. And then they mean the business with this stuff, man. And they killed 40 million people with their shots so far. They had Senate hearings admitting it all this week. Got no coverage. I mean, at the top of this is just mad scientists that see humans as animals. And any competing group of humans that's smart and effective and competent is seen as the ultimate threat. We're taught eugenics is getting rid of dumb people. No, not real eugenics. Real eugenicists want to kill the smart people.
And that's happening.
Like take grizzly bears. A male grizzly bear doesn't kill a female cub.
Really?
It'll kill its son. And if there's two baby male bear cubs, male grizzly bears will kill the biggest one. And now why do they do that? You think they're thinking about the species and the future. No, it's thinking about one thing. Somebody else in its territory, somebody else eating its caribou, eating its salmon, and banging its pussy. And so a male grizzly bear will kill its own son because he doesn't want to be challenged by him later. So that's the difference between us as humans and something like a grizzly bear. So we have to have competition in the fittest, the smartest, the best, gets the best women, the best breeding. That increases the race. But we also then just can't categorize everybody else, just wipe them out.
Well, hang on. Speaking of Grizzly, my sponsor is Grizzly Coolers. It's horrible bad timing.
No, it's good stuff.
I was like, oh shit, he's talking about Grizzly. Grizzly is the American version of Yeti.
Yeti funds communist groups. You need to fund Grizzly.
Absolutely. Grizzly.
Hey, nothing against grizzly bears. I wouldn't put down grizzly bears. My point is that real eugenics, the way it's being deployed, they put fluoride in the water, dumb everybody down.
Yeah.
They hit everybody with poison shots. The globalists want a post-human world. That's the plan. And so watch my film Endgame.
Post-human by what? What do you mean by post-human?
I mean, they're phasing Homo sapiens sapien out.
Like getting us the fuck out.
They say we're the boot up system for an AI system that'll create either a biological or synthetic system for us to upload into.
Do you think they're already in works with that? With these?
I mean, from what we know, it hasn't been basically, it's all theoretical. But the internet was theoretical in 58. Look where it is now.
But why would they be making these massive moves around the globe? It looks like they're trying to get rid of us.
Well, no, they say they are. I mean, that's the plan. I mean, look, this AI bubble, it gets all the water, it gets all the energy, we get nothing, they get all the land, they get eminent domain. That's the main power grab, is just grabbing all the infrastructure. Yeah. And then being given liability protection by the Trump administration where they're above the law. And then in the next phase, then it replaces your job.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about end of the world, the public is, or losing your job, that comes in a couple of years. Right now, it's the power grab of the power itself, of the production of power, physical electricity, and then the land and the liability protection and the water. It's just a physical sitting on our chest. I'm the gorilla, I'm in charge.
Yeah. Well,
and then the public is all too cool, and humans had it good so long, and people just don't want to have to worry about it and stuff. And so everybody's just too cool for school.
Yeah.
And the globalists bet they're just going to let them slowly poison you and dumb you down and phase your ass out.
You know what I think we're watching in real time? I think that they're overly confident that they can corral all of this chaos at any time. And I think they know that they can do it. So they're going to let it run for a little while to distract the public from the Epstein files and people asking questions about that. And they're going to create as much chaos around the world to get people off of that fucking subject. And I think that's what we're seeing in real time.
Well,
we
I think
don't have the fucking Epstein files.
I agree with you.
The real ones.
But if you study what the globalists say and it leaks out, they are scared. And a lot of them have been, they're building bunkers in the middle of nowhere. They're running the third world. I mean, a lot of them trying to dumb us down and control us and have an AI breakthrough is actually fear. And a lot of their higher level minions, but they're still not top level. They are the arrogant ones, yeah.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the big ones, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met with some of these people off and on. If they don't have an off-record meeting, and most of them are like, "What do we do? No, we're not all like this. No, we agree." Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I mean, it's they got a tiger by the tail, and I'll tell you. You've seen footage of like army ants in Brazil where they can go through and just clear out hundreds of acres in a day, right?
Yeah.
Just one troop of army ants. They eat every leaf off everything. You know what billions of people with the food and water turned off look like? They'll make World War Z look like a tea party.
Well, there's
a cakewalk.
There was a cruise ship with a bunch of the international people from all over the world. They were on a cruise ship and food became limited. And the first thing that happened, it was just instant communism aboard this cruise ship. And all these people started hoarding. All these people that come from communist countries, right? Communist politics, they knew what to do. They were like right on it. They fucking went out there. They're the first ones in line. They got all the meat. They got all the protein. And they only left the bread and the tomatoes for all the Americans. And they were making fun of the Americans because the Americans they'd never been exposed to this behavior before.
Dodo birds.
Yeah. And they were laughing about it. The news channel went in there. They were interviewing them. And all the Americans were like, this was so crazy. It was just ridiculous. People didn't care about each other. And it's like, yeah, that's how the rest of the world is. They've been dealing with this shit forever. Like, we're new to the game.
Well, our founders said it's time to empower the average person because it was always centralized elites with feudalism that wanted to keep you poor. They said, let's decentralize. It'll create a lot of wealth. But they said the problem is it'll create all this wealth. We'll become decadent. So we've got to keep competition in place. We've got to keep rugged stricture. And we've got to, have meritocracy.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Long term, 250 years down the road, we're basically on her deathbed, and so is the rest of the world. But we're still the best house in a bad neighborhood. But that's not saying much, because you know the saying: hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make bad times, and the cycle goes around. And that's where we are. And so you just have the most ignorant, dumbed down, crazy people. I saw footage out of New York again and out of Australia where the Muslims come and do call to prayer for hours, even though it takes 10 seconds, and block highways and roads. And the police finally start arresting him, and all these white liberals and gay guys and feminists with their tits out run up to these guys, look like Bin Laden, man. Even the Bin Ladens are looking at him like, oh, I'll be my slave soon, whore. And they're like, F you, pigs, blah, 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 blah. They're like attacking, saw footage today, Australia and New York, because they're pissing on us. They're blocking everything, exercising their power. And here are the gay men and the gay women. We love Islam. It's all a fetish of whatever's just sick and whatever, even though it's an old gray-haired gay guy and all these women, they're like, Mom, even though their mommy and daddy are dead, but they made him go to church. Like, I'll show you. I'll go out and find the Muslims and bow down to them, even though they'll throw me off a bridge as soon as they're in control. It's just like whatever goes against life force, whatever goes against common sense, these people are committed to being idiots. They love it. Light show today.
Like what?
Very light broadcast.
Yeah. This is a great Saturday fucking.
Well, here's the deal.
Oh, did we? I didn't play this video. The deed theft is on the rise here. This is going on in the United States here too, folks. I guarantee you most people haven't seen this. Check this out.
Not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? What are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
it's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it.
It's the second time he came around, talking about he trying to get him.
All right, Daniel.
Trying to scam.
I came to do inspection of the house.
Ain't no inspection. You don't own the house. Get out of here. You don't own nothing.
You know this is a court order.
Like, get court order.
Must vacate.
No, get out of here. Fake ass court order. Look at this nigga trying to scam.
What exactly is deed theft?
Well, I don't want to give too much information to enable the criminals to do it, but suffice to say, it has been going on not just in New York, not just on the East Coast, but all across the country for the past decade. And it's a very simple fraud that is done primarily by transnational criminal groups. That what they do is they go onto your county webpage, they look up your title. It has nothing to do with your age, your race, your ethnicity. What it has to do with simply is if you paid off your home. They see that you paid off your home on the county webpage. They get a copy of the title, and then they go to the bank. And then what they're able to do is pretend that they are the owner. So for the people that it happens to, it is traumatic at scale. Imagine one day getting a notice in your mailbox that your paid off home now has a mortgage on it, that you're having people show up at your house trying to take it. So it has a huge human toll.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you the rest of the story, because I'm glad people are paying attention to this. Retail or organized crime or individual deed theft is nothing. Since the 90s, the BlackRock Global Crime Rothschild Consortium has done this to tens of millions of people in the U.S. alone. They go in and sell your mortgage over and over and over and over again, like 20 times, 100 times, as if it's 100 houses. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll do stuff like you buy a house and then they keep changing who owns it, giving you notices of where to pay. Even though you're paying the right place, they won't tell you it's been sold again. Then they'll foreclose on you. And if you don't know your rights and have the right lawyers, they take your house. And now people have been copying BlackRock. And so individuals are now going and doing this. And it's total lawlessness. Total lawlessness.
Yeah.
And this is happening to like a lot of people.
Yeah, they're just trying to confuse the average person so much that they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Incredible podcast. I should have said this up front, because a lot of people found us when they shut down InfoWars. Notice the Onion didn't get it again. They're not in there. We're battling them in court. That's all a lie. Michael Bloomberg's gun control group really runs the Onion, and they want to confuse everybody. But I'm at AlexJonesLive.com, the Alex Jones Network, AlexJonesLive.com, on X at Real Alex Jones, on Rumble, the new channel, over 700,000 followers, just 2 weeks. That is rumble.com/The Alex Jones Show Live. And I'm on 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. weekdays, Harrison Smith, 3 to 6 p.m. I'm going to bring back more shows, more
Harrison.
programs. We're building a bigger studio. And so we need your support. AlexJonesLive.com. Be sure and tune in. TheAlexJonesStore.com. The best supplements, the best methylene blue, the widest selection of Patriot apparel. I'm funded by you, not by the Israelis, not by the Muslims, not by the Republicans, not by the Democrats. I'm funded by you at TheAlexJonesStore.com. And be sure and follow this guy, and be sure and like and share. I know he's working hard. He's going to get this out today on Saturday, but it's up to you guys. Get the best clips of this and flood the zone on Rumble, X, Instagram, everywhere else, because they got the real power. You are the Clippers. You are the Paul Revere's. Take action now. Some pretty good stuff today.
That was great.
How many hours we
I
just
want to
did?
end with a funny video, though.
How many hours we just did?
About 3 hours.
It's good.
Yeah, 3 hours. All right, I got to end on this because this is funny, but it also pertains to everything we've been talking about
Well, no, you say
today.
it's funny. The only, in Europe and the United States, the only people that are allowed adults to suck babies' penises, not that you want to, it's like only people allowed to, is Jewish rabbis.
What a lead into a comment.
And there's city council meetings where if you go and read this, they arrest you.
Yeah.
So my point is, it's not all the Orthodox Jews that are doing this, but it's called a moil. And yeah, they had problems with babies getting herpes and stuff from the moils. Some have died. And Israel itself's been trying to ban this practice. So it's a little bit embarrassing for them. But to all the Christian Zionists, whatever's done by Judaism is now God, even though there's been 30 plus books after the original Bible. So if Talmudic Judaism says this is good, if you don't support this as a Christian Zionist, you're going to hell.
Well, let's end with this. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yep, here it is. This is the Christian Zionist, Pastor Hagee. If Pastor Hagee doesn't support the rabbi drinking the blood of the baby penis, then he's going to hell.
Metzitza Bupe, right where the child gets circumcised, and then they clean it up with the rabbi's mouth, I believe. And the other one is...
I'm shocked that you guys know what it is, but that's cool. Metzitza Bupe, it's given to us as straight from Moshe Rabbeinu, our leader. We cannot. No one would disagree with that. Every Orthodox community would do it.
I know one of them is, I think it's called the Metzitza Bupe, right where the child gets circumcised, and then they clean it up with the rabbi's mouth, I believe. And the other one is...
But listen, I believe that you're anti-Semitic if this is not taught and done by law. I think whenever you have a child, well, it goes to, like, the left wants to chop our sons' penises off. We should just have the rabbis bite their penises, every child's penis off at birth.
Yeah.
No, I mean, why are you being anti-Semitic?
This is going to be taught in school soon.
Well, I mean, obviously you're a Nazi if a rabbi doesn't bite your son's penis off.
Yeah.
You don't support that?
Man. Alex.
I wonder if Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL had a moil.
Real quick, bonus coverage.
I want to ask Jonathan Greenblatt a question. Are you mad, Jonathan? I'm sorry I don't support that. Okay? I'm being sarcastic. I'm sorry someone bit the head of your wiener off.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously.
Can you imagine your first moments in life, a rabbi's mouth is around your cock?
While they've chopped pieces off. It's an offering. They eat the foreskin.
Woo.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
Real
and then
quick.
we've got our precious Muslims. They cut the little girl's clits off.
Real quick. Aliens. We initially wanted to start this
Who needs aliens
podcast about... No.
Who needs aliens to kidnap us and cut our dicks off? We got the...
Are aliens real?
Obviously, there are other life forms in the universe. But all this hype...
Obviously? What do you mean,
with
obviously?
Steven Spielberg's movie coming on, all this is hype. It's all a bunch of diversions.
I get diversions, but do you think that there's actually life in the universe besides us?
Yes.
Do you have any proof?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, anecdotally, you can see all the ancient cultures reporting the same story, like the Anunnaki. It's in the Bible too. And then you've got...
But has anybody ever told you anything or showed you pictures?
No,
or
I mean, when I
videos?
was, it's always some expert. I mean, since I was a little kid, We go out to the desert with telescope stuff might have it say there's a satellite, the way they go. But then you'd also see other little things flying around out there. There's a lot of stuff going on. All the ancient cultures talk about the same thing. So they talk about people coming here and visiting us, other things going on. I mean, obviously. So that's what it's all about. I mean,
So there you go. Alex Jones believes in UFOs, people.
well, UFOs.
Well, not UFOs. Aliens.
Could be a balloon. It means it's unidentified. What I believe in is stopping the anti-Semitic criticism.
What if aliens
of rabbis eating foreskin? No, I mean, listen. I've always been annoyed by the Jewish obsession. The Jews are obsessed with themselves, some of them, and the people are obsessed with Jews. But now that Israel's taken over everything, and what am I supposed to do? It's like, wow, this is really happening. Oh, this is horrible.
Oh, I got to show you something.
I got the Muslims, the Nazis after me too. Now I got
so I'm a big baseball fan. Go Brewers, right? And this commercial comes on every single game. There's 162 games a season in baseball, and this commercial comes on every single time. Okay, watch this. We'll end with this. I want to get your take on this.
Oh, I've seen it. The evil lights are beating up.
So there's a Jewish kid walking down the school hallway, high school. Everybody's laughing at him, giving him weird looks.
We should feel sorry for him as a rabbi bit his dick off.
He gets to his locker, opens it. This black kid comes walking up, and he notices there's a sticker on his backpack that says
Do not
Dirty
listen
Jew.
to that.
The black kid places a blue sticker over the top of his Dirty Jew sticker that's on his backpack.
I know how it feels.
And then he says, I know how it feels. Share the blue sticker if you care, it says.
Yeah, 99% of the racial attacks in this country are on white people.
Yeah.
You remember the ADL and Black Lives Matter put it alive a couple years ago going, the epidemic of white on Asian crime. People wanted the numbers, it doesn't exist. There's an epidemic of white men beating up Asians. It was blacks beating up Asians.
Yeah.
So, you've got the Israel lobby forever going around stirring up black people, funding the NAACP, all that. And just, running around saying that, there's Nazis under every table. And then meanwhile, 90+% of the racial attacks are on white people, including in public schools everywhere. That's all the videos you see. And that's why the media won't show it because I can't tell you, I don't even watch a lot of corporate media, but old movies, new movies, you're watching one and it's just like white guys lynching a black person, white kids beating up a black kid. And then black people, some of them see that and they go out and they hunt down white people because they believe it.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about them tying the black culture to the Jewish culture, though? That was a very strategic thing.
Oh, it's all about an alliance.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me give the Jews a newsflash, which I know you know, is waiting to the ad. Other than like Muslims, there's probably one group obsessed with Jews that don't like it, and that's black people. And I used to grow up and hear this and think, well, I wonder why the black people are so anti-Semitic.
Well, because they moved into your neighborhoods and fucking bought everything up and took over everything. There's a reason historically blacks do not like Jews. And it's because of what they did. They used to be predominantly black fucking communities. The Jews went in there, bought everything up, bought up all the stores, bought everything, and moved the blacks out.
And you just answered the question. And here's the thing.
And now they're trying to lie to you.
No, let's just show, two white guys.
Yeah.
Bump into because they know he's a Jew. How do they know it's just made up? It doesn't even exist.
Well, they're putting it in everybody's face, and obviously the MLB is completely sold out to this. And I'm sure it's integrated in every facet, not just the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, everything.
And think about what an anti-white thing that is. Because I can tell you right now, the crime statistics fit it. Who commits the lowest crime rate? East Asians. Okay? I mean, they'll do some financial stuff, but, I mean, they're pretty... So, it's East Asians, because they call the Muslim countries Asian. They're not. East Asians, Japanese, Koreans, like, crime rate almost at zero, okay?
Shout out to them, by the way.
Yeah, unless you're, like, at the corporate level with the guys, and the corporate guys all, like, nice, and they tattoos under when they have a corporate thing, they kill each other, but nobody hears about it. Yeah. But the point is, men kill men. There's no women, no kids.
Well, they police themselves, too.
They police themselves.
What I appreciate about that culture.
Yeah, usually 99% of the time, it's all corporate and nonviolent. Every once in a while, you never hear about it.
Yeah.
They still kill people, but it's rare. And it's men doing it because they're honorable. Because that's what men do. So, but then you go through statistics. East Asians, and then it's whites, and then it's Hispanics, and it's blacks. And something like 80% of the violent crime in the blue cities is blacks, 14 to 25. Still, most blacks aren't bad and aren't criminals, but they have that big slice minority of their minority that is the king daddy. And we all know that. Black people will tell you, yeah, no, see a bunch of gangbangers. Are there white thugs? Are there Hispanic thugs? Damn right there are. Are there more Hispanic thugs than white thugs? Yes. The idea, remember Biden signed an executive order saying the number one threat to white supremacy, it's an epidemic. Whites are killing everyone.
Yeah.
Well, you mean Fauci with poison shots? Yeah, that is. Bill Gates? Yeah, those are white guys killing you. But no. So people should be pissed, and people should, I'm sorry, not support the National Baseball League. Or even if you watch it, let them know. Let the corporations know. I'm not going to buy anything from you. Anything I see advertised on here, I'm not going to support.
Yeah.
Because literally, play it again. Like it's two white guys. And they're big and they're tough, and they're like, look, that guy's got curly hair. He must be a Jew.
All right.
And let's bump into him and stick a Jew sticker. And then here comes the black guy. It's all right. I know I've been through it too.
Yeah.
And the Jewish kid goes, God, I love owning your grandparents' neighborhood. And I'm not trying to be mean to Jews, but here's the thing. The ADL will probably do a story. Jones says Jews stole black people's stuff. No, you're saying white people are beating up black people. Or Jews. Let me explain something to you, okay? I was brought up not to be hateful of groups as a Christian. But I was taught about class and class envy and liberation theology, and my dad explained to me. And I grew up in Dallas, and I grew up in a nice area, but they bust black kids into our school, okay? Now, I made the mistake in 6th grade, it wasn't a mistake, that they had like black kids that had flunked 2 or 3 grades that were in 6th grade that should have been in high school. And I got beat up a few times, and I'd go home with black eyes, and my dad would say, you need to do whatever you have to fight back and don't be a pussy. My dad wasn't Mr. Tough Guy, except when it came to that. And so when it came down to it, and a year later, people are in the hospital, and I put people's eyes out and stuff, my dad said, well, sue us. We went to court, we beat them every time. Then I had to fight their older brothers. Then I had to fight the next ones. So you probably don't know any white people fought as many black people as I have, okay? I fought a lot of them, okay? It was just, we had to move. I had to sell those dental offices when I was 16 because they were trying to literally put me in a mental institution because I'd put people in the hospital and other stuff, okay? They're like, how does this 180-pound guy put a 260-pound guy in a coma? The point is that I wasn't looking for trouble. By then, I'd be at a restaurant, and then some 30-year-old convict cousin of some black guy that I put in the hospital was beating me up in a parking lot, okay? And then other things that happen. But the point is that I don't blame blacks in general. But let me tell you something. There's no black people that have been attacked 100 times by white people out there. It don't exist. But there are white people all over the place that have been attacked by black people. So I don't have any guilt. I don't owe you nothing. I don't blame black people in general. But it's a bunch of bullshit to sit there and see 2 white people being mean to a fucking Jew. It ain't fucking going on. And here's the problem. All of this crap that the Israel lobby's doing is going to actually empower the really crazy people that do want to do stuff, or Israel's going to stage some false flags to look like victims. Oh, yeah. So I'm not part of this whole thing. I love everybody, but just stop telling me I'm bad because I'm white. It isn't true. It's a lie, and I'm not going to take your scapegoating. I'm not going to be the bad guy anymore.
Yep. Well, that's just it. I can't top it better than that. Let's watch it again.
Imagine being the left, the ADL putting this out.
Look at the 2 white kids. 2 white kids bump them on both sides.
Imagine they think this is going to have an effect they want. Hey, the spell's over. We don't have guilt anymore. The spell's over, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, he saw them mean to the Jew. Those evil Americans are with Hitler. Meanwhile, I almost don't exist because of Hitler.
The propaganda is disgusting. So blatant.
Do
People
not
eat this
listen
shit
to
up.
that.
Thank you, man.
Now we'll protect you. Oh God, the white people.
I know how it feels. He says.
Well, that's the Jewish lobby. That doesn't speak for all Jews.
Yeah.
That's the Jewish lobby saying we're not with the white people.
Well, and it also labels themselves as a victim.
Well, exactly, because the ADL's even said, we're the victims. Why do people think we're white? We're not. You're busy demonizing whites all day, and then you wonder why you get a blowback.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself, you dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm worried about everybody's kids. But let me tell you, nobody's probably worse than whites, maybe Asians. Eating unhealthy, indoors, video games all day, zits all over their face, autistic, scared to talk to anybody. I mean, the average white guy's like, knows they're hated, is like, oh, that's what I eat my boogers. And I mean, it's sad, man. And you're like, we're like charging around.
Yeah.
You know,
Whites are going to be in concentration camps very soon. Watch.
We're only 7%, man.
Yeah.
And I tried to avoid this. I thought big camp, big tent. But I'm sorry. Everybody's got the knives out. Everybody's going racial. It's like a prison, you know, where you got the Asians, you got the Hispanics, you got the whites, you got the blacks, and it breaks into those groups. And there's not a big Asian population, it's just those three groups. And it doesn't matter. You don't really join the Aryan nations or the white brotherhood, but if you don't, you're getting stabbed to death and raped. So it's the way it works. And then meanwhile, the Aryan Brotherhood's run by the warden and the ADL. I mean, I told her about this forever. The folks, I mean, most of the white supremacy groups are run by them.
Mm-hmm.
That's like in 1984 when O'Brien gives Winston the manual on how the control really works. And then he thinks he's in on this rebel group. And then they grab him and torture him. He goes, well, you're the rebel leader. And he goes, well, yeah, and that's because I want to control every paradigm. I just want to torture good people to death and destroy their souls. So I'm going to torture you to death and then you destroy your mind because you're a really smart, beautiful person. I just want to hurt you. So you have to understand that it's all about covering all points of the compass. It's like in the new last Dune movie. She goes, you picked the wrong side. She goes, you above anyone should know there's no sides. Yeah. That is such a diseased mindset. But here's the thing. You're bringing us here. And then just remember where it takes you. And I'm talking about everybody here.
Yeah.
But it is healthy that whites are more and more saying, screw you, I'm not cucked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be, but just you don't need to swing to the other end and turn into a frothing, you know. I mean, Hitler was a loser, set up by Churchill and British intelligence. He had a treaty with Churchill. That's why Chamberlain made the deals and all that. And then they set Hitler up. I mean, so Hitler was a loser.
Yeah.
It's just these people, you know, it's just because there's a bunch of bad stuff going on with Jews doesn't mean Hitler's good now. I get so many comments. My God, the Muslims are taking over. Why are you anti-Israel? I'm not anti-Israel. Israel's funding most of the radical Muslims to create the crisis, you dumb sons of bitches. They admit it. Respond to that. And our own government does it. I bitch at the CIA, MI6, and Israel. But then, and I actually did have the CIA come after me. That's who ran all these lawsuits. But they used the Bloomberg's money and some of the Jewish lobby to do it. I'm literally trying to help people.
Yeah.
I don't secretly have Hitler underwear on. I don't, you know, I'm not part of the Christmas Adventurers Club or anything. I mean, you guys are. You guys are in your own racial cult. You're all bully each other, and you're going to get us all killed. So I'm just telling everybody, you better transcend this or we're all dead.
Alex, I got one question that I've never asked you, and I've asked multiple guests, and I don't know why I never asked you. But if you were king for one day, what would you command the citizens of the world to do? Say you were king of the world. What would you command everybody to do? Take your time.
Well, yeah, I'd have to think about second, third, fourth order consequences. You know, I've thought about that kind of question, like about, well, if I was God for a day, because the king can give orders doesn't mean what he says gets done. You know, it's how much can an order get implemented. I have thought about that question. We should have a whole podcast just on if you were king for a day versus God for a day. I would definitely keep free will if I was God for a day.
We could save this. We could shelve it. We could do a whole...
The problem is I think about this all the time, and because to even talk about a power like that is then everything I start thinking of this, I think of that. But people aren't supposed to just be given all the knowledge. They're supposed to learn it themselves. So
let's save it.
That's a really good question.
Let's let it stew. We'll end on that. That'll lead up to the next one. We'll probably do here in a short.
Well, here's a quick one then. I'm not saying this is the ultimate answer. I would let everyone be able to review their life like the Christmas story. To Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future, and to let them see their own death, and then what the bad they'd done in their life, how it affected other people, and how they weren't God, how they weren't all powerful, and how death was a great equalizer, and how they were, and let them face God's judgment so they could know what they'd done, so they turn back now. But that's not how God works. Though God does give us glimmers of the future and visions and foreshadowing, and I would, because God's done that to me. I would pray that people be able to look into where they're really taking themselves. Because a lot of people feel weak, so they turn to the dark side. And I can just tell you, I know all about the dark side. I have a proclivity towards it. But that also proclivity towards the light. And that's why I can understand so much, is because I am a particularly, let's just say, dialed in to wide spectrum information. And I'm very empathetic, not just to people, but to the whole energy spectrum. And I just, it's like Christ says on the cross where he gives up the ghost. He says, forgive them, Father. They do not know what they've done. That they do not know what the exact quote is. He said, forgive them, Father. They do not know what they do. What's the exact Jesus? Let's look it up. I don't get it wrong here, Dan. Christ's final words are, why hast thou forsaken me? But before that, he says, forgive them, Father. They do not know what they do, or they do not know what they've done. Well, let's pull up in Christ's final words here.
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. This is in Luke 23:34. Is the first of Jesus' 7 last words on the cross. The first of Jesus' 7 last words on the cross, found exclusively in the Gospel of Luke. It is a profound demonstration of mercy in which Jesus prays for his executioners and mockers during his crucifixion.
And then the last words are, why hast thou forsaken me, right?
This is off of BibleGateway.com. Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And they divided up his clothes by casting lots.
Dice. Pull up where Christ says, why have thou forsaken me?
Okay.
That might have been the Garden of Gethsemane. The point is because God removed himself completely from him, even though he was perfect, to let him absolutely feel the cold winds of the ninth circle of hell.
Okay. Here you go. The phrase, why have you forsaken me, appears in 2 distinct contexts in the Bible, as a prophetic lament by King David and as one of the final statements made by Jesus Christ on the cross. Matthew 27:46. About the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lima sabachthani, which means, by my God, why have you forsaken me? And then Mark 15:34. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lima sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?
That sounds right. Because you have to be taken down to absolute zero. And the persecution has to be absolutely maximum. And then God put all the sins of the world forever on Christ as a sacrifice, and then remove the Spirit from the Son to literally just sit there completely alone in hell. So what we have to go through is nothing compared to this. When you're over the target getting the flag, we have to take the persecution.
Yeah.
We have to, like Paul said, actually celebrate it. Yeah. Because that's the proof of something real.
Yeah.
Anything worse, something's got a lot of pain associated with it.
Yeah.
Great podcast, brother. AlexJonesLive.com. And everybody follow Sean Johnson. Dun, dun, dun.
I love you guys. I'm going to get this out as fast as possible.
This new Alex Jones clone is like the old guy.
No, he's soft. The new one's soft. I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Great job.
I'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?